Have you ever felt like your day just slips away and you don't get much done? Do you sometimes start a task but then get distracted by your phone or other things? Or maybe you find yourself working hard but still feeling like you didn't accomplish enough. If you've ever experienced this, don't worry. You're not alone. Today, we are going to talk about practical ways to be more productive in your daily life and how to manage your time more effectively. Let's start by thinking about what productivity really means. Being productive doesn't mean working all the time or rushing through tasks. It means using your time wisely so you can achieve your goals without feeling exhausted. For example, instead of saying, "I need to work for 5 hours straight," it's often better to plan smaller focused periods of work with short breaks in between. This method can actually help you get more done and keep your energy levels high. One important tip is to plan your day in advance. You can do this the night before by writing a simple list of tasks you want to accomplish. For example, you might write, "Answer important emails in the morning. Work on the project report from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Take a walk or do some exercise at 2 p.m. Read or learn something new for 30 minutes in the evening." When you have a clear plan, it's easier to stay focused and avoid wasting time wondering what to do next. Another key idea is prioritizing tasks. Not all tasks are equally important. A good way to decide what to do first is to ask yourself, which task will make the biggest difference if I finish it today? For example, finishing a work report that is due tomorrow is more urgent than checking social media. By focusing on high-priority tasks first, you can make your day much more effective. Eliminating distractions is also very important. Phones, social media, and even noisy environments can make it hard to concentrate. One strategy is to set a specific time to check your messages or social media instead of doing it all the time. You can also find a quiet space or use headphones if you need to concentrate. Small changes like these can make a big difference in how much you accomplish. Have you ever tried breaking large tasks into smaller steps? This is another productivity tip that works really well. When a task seems big or overwhelming, it's easy to procrastinate. But if you divide it into smaller, manageable parts, it becomes much easier to start. For example, instead of writing "complete project report" on your to-do list, you could write introduction, write main points, add images or charts, and proofread final draft. Finishing each small step will give you a sense of progress and motivation to keep going. Another simple but effective approach is using time blocks. This means allocating a set amount of time for each task and focusing only on that task during that period. For example, you could decide, "I will work on my presentation from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and nothing else." This helps your brain focus completely on one task and prevents multitasking, which often slows us down. Productivity isn't only about work. Taking care of your physical and mental health is crucial. Getting enough sleep, eating well, and taking short breaks can actually improve your concentration and efficiency. Even a short walk outside or a few minutes of stretching can refresh your mind and help you return to work with more energy. Another powerful method to increase productivity is setting clear goals for your day, week, and even month. When you know exactly what you want to achieve, it is easier to focus and stay motivated. For example, if your goal for the week is to complete a project report, break it down into smaller daily goals. On Monday, you can focus on researching information for the report. On Tuesday, you can start writing the introduction and the first section. On Wednesday, you can work on the remaining sections, and on Thursday, you can review and edit everything. By dividing your bigger goals into smaller, actionable steps, you will make consistent progress without feeling overwhelmed. It is also helpful to use tools and apps that can support your productivity. For example, you can use digital calendars to plan your day or week. If you prefer physical planners, writing down your tasks and ticking them off as you finish each one gives a strong sense of accomplishment. Another popular tool is a to-do list app like Todoist or Microsoft To Do, which allows you to organize tasks by priority, set reminders, and track your progress. These tools can help you stay organized and avoid forgetting important tasks. One of the most important habits for productivity is starting your day with your most important task first. Many people tend to check emails or social media first thing in the morning, but this can waste valuable time and energy. Instead, try to begin with a task that matters most for your personal or professional goals. For example, if you are writing a report for work, spend the first hour of your day working on that report before checking emails or notifications. You will feel more accomplished and motivated after finishing an important task early in the day. Another technique that can boost your productivity is using the Pomodoro technique. This is a time management method where you work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles, you take a longer break of 15 to 20 minutes. For example, you can set a timer and focus on writing a section of your project for 25 minutes without interruption. When the timer goes off, you can stretch, drink water, or relax for 5 minutes before starting the next session. This method helps your brain stay focused and prevents mental fatigue. Many people struggle with productivity because of procrastination, which is the habit of delaying important tasks. To overcome procrastination, it is helpful to understand why you are avoiding a task. Sometimes a task seems difficult or boring, and that makes you put it off. In such cases, breaking it into smaller steps can help. For example, if you need to clean your room but feel too lazy to start, you can begin by organizing your desk first. Once that is done, you can move on to cleaning your wardrobe or making your bed. Completing small steps gradually makes the overall task easier and less stressful. Another effective way to be more productive is learning to say no. Sometimes people take on too many responsibilities or accept invitations that do not align with their goals. Saying no politely but firmly allows you to focus on what really matters. For example, if a friend asks you to help with a task that will take a lot of time but is not urgent, you can say, "I am sorry, I cannot help right now because I need to finish my work." By protecting your time and energy, you can complete your important tasks without unnecessary stress. Creating a productive environment is also very important. Your surroundings can greatly affect how focused you feel. For example, if your workspace is messy or cluttered, you may feel distracted or stressed. Take a few minutes to organize your desk, put away unnecessary items, and make your space comfortable. You can also adjust the lighting, temperature, or background music to create an environment that helps you concentrate. A clean and organized workspace can make it easier to start tasks and stay focused for longer periods. Another tip is to review your day at the end. Take some time in the evening to look at what you accomplished and what still needs attention. For example, you can ask yourself, which tasks did I complete today? Which task can I do tomorrow? This reflection helps you understand your progress and plan for the next day. It also gives a sense of achievement, which can motivate you to continue being productive. Productivity is not only about work, but also about maintaining healthy routines. Eating nutritious meals, drinking enough water, and getting regular exercise are all essential for mental and physical energy. For example, if you eat a heavy meal and do not take a short walk, you may feel sleepy and lose focus. But if you have balanced meals and take breaks to stretch or move, your mind and body stay alert and you can work more efficiently. Another strategy is batching similar tasks together. This means doing similar activities at the same time to reduce the time lost when switching between tasks. For example, instead of answering emails several times a day, you can dedicate 2 specific times, like 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., to read and reply to all emails. Similarly, if you need to make phone calls or send messages, you can do them in one batch. This method reduces distractions and helps you stay focused on other important tasks. It is also very helpful to set specific deadlines for tasks. Even if a task does not have an official deadline, giving yourself a clear timeline creates a sense of urgency and motivation. For example, if you need to write a report but it is due in a week, set a personal deadline to finish the first draft in 3 days. This encourages you to take consistent action and avoid leaving things to the last minute. A very practical tip is to limit multitasking. Many people think they are productive when they do multiple things at once, like watching a video while checking emails. In reality, multitasking often reduces efficiency and increases mistakes. Instead, focus on one task at a time, complete it, and then move to the next task. For example, if you are studying English vocabulary, turn off notifications, close unrelated tabs, and focus only on learning new words. You will learn faster and retain information better. Using reminders and alarms can also improve productivity. For example, you can set an alarm to remind you to start working on an important task, take a short break, or drink water. These small reminders help you stay on track throughout the day and prevent forgetting important activities. Another technique is to celebrate small achievements. Rewarding yourself for completing tasks creates motivation and positive reinforcement. For example, after finishing a difficult report, you can take a short walk, enjoy a cup of tea, or listen to your favorite music. Celebrating small wins helps you feel good about your progress and encourages consistent productivity. Being productive also involves avoiding perfectionism. Many people spend too much time trying to make something perfect, which slows down their work. It is better to complete a task well enough and move on, then improve it later if necessary. For example, if you are writing an article, focus on finishing a complete draft first, rather than editing each sentence perfectly. You can always refine it later, but completing the task gives a sense of accomplishment and progress. Another key aspect of being productive is staying motivated even when tasks are long or difficult. Sometimes we start a task with energy, but after some time we feel tired or bored and lose focus. One way to stay motivated is to remind yourself of the bigger picture. For example, if you are studying English and need to finish a 50-page book for a course, think about how finishing it will improve your language skills, help you pass the course, and give you confidence in speaking English. By connecting small tasks to larger goals, you give yourself a clear reason to keep going. Another helpful strategy is using visual reminders of your goals. For example, you can write your daily or weekly goals on sticky notes and place them on your desk, computer, or wall. You can also create a vision board with pictures and words that represent your personal or professional goals. When you see these reminders, they can motivate you to take action, even when you feel lazy or distracted. It is also important to maintain energy levels throughout the day. Productivity is not just about working harder, but also about working smarter. For example, if you try to work for 6 hours without a proper break, your brain will become tired and your concentration will drop. Instead, take short breaks every hour or use techniques like stretching, drinking water, or walking for a few minutes. These small activities refresh your mind and allow you to return to work with more focus. Sometimes, choosing the right time of day for different tasks can improve productivity. Some people are more alert in the morning, while others feel more focused in the afternoon or evening. For example, if you are a morning person, you can schedule your most important tasks, like writing a report or preparing a presentation, in the morning. Then, in the afternoon, you can do simpler or less demanding tasks, like answering emails or organizing files. By aligning tasks with your natural energy patterns, you can work more efficiently. Learning to manage interruptions is another essential habit. Interruptions can come from phone calls, messages, colleagues, or family members. One effective strategy is to communicate your work schedule clearly. For example, you can tell your colleagues or family, "I will be working on this project from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and I need quiet during that time." You can also use tools like Do Not Disturb mode on your phone or computer to block notifications temporarily. Minimizing interruptions allows you to focus deeply and complete tasks faster. Another strategy to boost productivity is reflecting on your progress regularly. For example, at the end of each week, you can review what tasks you accomplished, which strategies worked well, and which areas need improvement. This reflection helps you understand your habits, celebrate achievements, and plan better for the future. It can also prevent you from repeating mistakes and wasting time on ineffective methods. Using accountability is another powerful tool. When you share your goals with someone else, it increases your commitment to completing them. For example, if you tell a friend, "I will finish reading this book by Friday," you are more likely to stick to your plan because someone else is aware of your commitment. You can also join study groups, professional groups, or online communities where members support each other in staying productive. Combining productivity with self-care is essential. Sometimes people focus so much on getting things done that they forget to take care of themselves. For example, if you are working on a project and skip meals or stay awake very late, your efficiency will decrease and you may make mistakes. Taking care of your health by eating well, sleeping enough, and exercising keeps your mind sharp and your body energized, which in turn improves productivity. Another important tip is avoiding unnecessary perfectionism. Many people spend too much time trying to make something perfect, which can slow down progress. For example, if you are creating a presentation for work, focus on making it clear and professional rather than spending hours adjusting every single font or color. You can always improve it later if needed, but completing the task efficiently is often more important than making it perfect. Creating a daily routine can also increase productivity significantly. For example, you can set a morning routine where you wake up at the same time every day, exercise for 20 minutes, have breakfast, and then start work. A consistent routine trains your brain and body to be ready for productive activities at specific times. Similarly, having an evening routine, like reviewing your tasks and planning the next day, helps you stay organized and focused consistently. Another effective technique is batching similar tasks together. For example, instead of replying to emails throughout the day, you can schedule 2 or 3 times to respond to them in a row. Similarly, if you need to do errands, try to complete all errands at once rather than making multiple trips. Grouping tasks reduces wasted time, keeps your mind focused, and allows you to complete tasks faster. Setting boundaries between work and personal life is also crucial for productivity. For example, if you work from home, it is easy to mix personal tasks with professional ones. You can set clear times for work and times for personal activities. For instance, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., focus on work, and after 5 p.m., dedicate time to family, hobbies, or relaxation. Clear boundaries help you stay productive during work hours and enjoy personal time without stress. Another tip is using positive reinforcement to maintain habits. For example, when you finish a difficult task, reward yourself with something enjoyable, like a coffee break, listening to music, or a short walk outside. This creates a positive association with completing tasks, which encourages you to continue being productive. Over time, these rewards strengthen your productive habits. Learning from productive people can also be very helpful. Observe how your colleagues, friends, or mentors organize their day, handle tasks, and manage time. For example, you may notice that someone always starts the day with their most important task and avoids checking social media until the afternoon. You can try similar strategies in your own routine and adapt them to your needs. Learning from others allows you to adopt proven methods without starting from scratch. Another useful method is limiting unnecessary decisions. Every decision we make takes mental energy, and too many small decisions can cause fatigue and reduce productivity. For example, you can plan your meals in advance for the week or set a consistent work schedule. This reduces daily decision-making and frees up mental energy for important tasks. Many successful people, like CEOs or writers, follow a simplified routine to save energy for critical decisions. Using focus techniques can also make a big difference. For example, you can try deep work sessions, where you dedicate an hour or more to a single task without interruptions. Turn off notifications, close unrelated tabs, and commit fully to that task. You will be surprised how much more you can accomplish with uninterrupted focus compared to constantly switching between tasks. Finally, it is important to be kind to yourself. Productivity is a habit that improves over time, and there will be days when you feel less focused or accomplish less than planned. For example, if you had a busy week and could not finish all tasks, reflect on what went well, learn from challenges, and plan for the next day. Being patient and consistent is more effective than pushing yourself too hard and feeling stressed or burnt out. Another important habit to develop for long-term productivity is creating a personal productivity system. This means designing a way of working that suits your personality, schedule, and goals. For example, some people prefer planning their tasks in a digital calendar with notifications, while others feel more productive using a physical notebook where they can write and tick off tasks. You can experiment with different methods to find what works best for you. Once you find a system that fits your life, stick to it consistently because habits take time to become automatic. One effective approach is time blocking your day. This means assigning specific hours for different activities. For example, you can block 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for focused work on a project, 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. for answering emails, 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. for a short break, and 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. for a meeting or collaboration. By assigning specific times, you avoid wasting time deciding what to do next. This structure also helps your mind switch smoothly between tasks without feeling chaotic. Tracking your progress is another strategy that supports productivity. For example, if you are learning English and want to improve your listening and speaking skills, you can track the number of hours you study each week or the number of podcasts you listen to. You can also note down new vocabulary words or phrases that you practice every day. Seeing your progress visually motivates you to continue, and it helps you understand which areas need more attention. It is also very helpful to create morning and evening routines. A productive morning routine might include waking up at the same time every day, doing a short exercise session, having breakfast, and reviewing your main tasks for the day. For example, you could wake up at 7 a.m., Do 20 minutes of stretching, have a healthy breakfast, and then spend 10 minutes reviewing your work tasks. An evening routine might include reflecting on what you accomplished, preparing tasks for the next day, and relaxing to recharge your energy. These routines create stability and improve your overall productivity. Another important factor is managing energy, not just time. Productivity is not only about working more hours, but also about working when your energy is highest. For example, if you feel most alert in the morning, plan your most demanding tasks for that time. You can reserve less demanding tasks, like replying to emails or organizing files, for the afternoon when your energy is lower. Understanding your natural energy patterns allows you to work more efficiently without feeling exhausted. Staying consistent with small daily habits is another key to long-term productivity. For example, if you want to write a book, writing even 1 page a day will eventually result in a completed manuscript. Similarly, learning 5 new English words daily will add up to a significant improvement in vocabulary over a few months. Small, consistent actions may seem minor at first, but they accumulate and create meaningful results. Another strategy is avoiding decision fatigue. Every choice we make consumes mental energy. To reduce unnecessary decisions, you can plan meals in advance, prepare your clothes the night before, and schedule recurring tasks at the same time every day. For example, if you have a weekly report due every Friday, decide that you will always work on it from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. This prevents wasting energy on small, repetitive decisions and leaves your mind free to focus on important work. Using reflection to improve productivity is another powerful tool. At the end of each day or week, take a few minutes to ask yourself questions like, which tasks did I complete successfully today? Which tasks did I procrastinate on? And what strategies helped me focus? For example, if you notice that you were distracted by social media during work hours, you can plan to turn off notifications or set specific times to check your phone the next week. Reflection allows you to learn from your experiences and continuously improve your habits. Another method is combining productivity with personal growth. For example, instead of only focusing on completing tasks at work, you can dedicate time to learning something new, like a language, a professional skill, or a creative hobby. For instance, you could set aside 30 minutes every day to practice English pronunciation or listen to an English podcast. By integrating personal growth into your daily routine, you make your time more meaningful while staying productive. Prioritizing tasks using the 80-20 rule can also increase productivity. This principle states that 80% of results often come from 20% of tasks. For example, if you have 10 tasks to complete today, identify the 2 most important ones that will create the biggest impact. Focus on completing these first. The other tasks can be done later or delegated if possible. This approach ensures you are always working on what truly matters rather than just staying busy. Another key strategy is reducing multitasking. Many people think they are productive when they do multiple things at the same time, like watching a video while replying to emails. But research shows that multitasking reduces efficiency. For example, if you are learning English, it is more effective to focus fully on listening to a podcast without checking your phone or typing messages. You will understand more, retain information better, and finish your task faster. Setting clear, measurable goals helps maintain focus. Instead of saying, I want to be more productive, make it specific. Like, I want to complete my work report by 5 p.m. today. Or, I want to learn 10 new English words by tonight. Measurable goals make your progress visible and create motivation to take action. Another useful habit is batching similar tasks together. For example, instead of responding to emails throughout the day, set aside a block of time, like from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., to answer all emails at once. Similarly, you can batch errands, phone calls, or online research. Grouping tasks reduces time lost, switching between activities, and allows your brain to focus more efficiently on each type of work. Learning to delegate can also improve productivity. Delegation means asking someone else to complete a task that you do not need to do yourself. For example, if you are managing a team, you can assign research tasks to your colleagues while you focus on writing a report. Delegating appropriately frees your time for tasks that require your specific skills and allows others to contribute their strengths. Another strategy is limiting distractions in your workspace. For example, keep your desk clean and organized, put your phone in another room if possible, and close unrelated tabs on your computer. Some people also use noise-canceling headphones or soft instrumental music to improve focus. A distraction-free environment helps you concentrate fully and complete tasks more efficiently. Using rewards to motivate yourself is another effective approach. For example, after completing a difficult task, you can reward yourself by taking a short walk, enjoying a cup of coffee, or listening to a favorite song. Positive reinforcement encourages you to continue working efficiently because your brain associates completion of tasks with enjoyable experiences. Finally, accepting that productivity is a process, not a constant state, is very important. Some days will be more productive than others, and that is normal. For example, if one day you finish all your tasks and the next day you feel less focused, do not feel guilty. Reflect on what caused the dip, adjust your strategies, and continue tomorrow. Productivity is about consistency, not perfection. Another important aspect of being productive is planning for unexpected disruptions. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things do not go as planned. For example, you may schedule 2 hours in the morning to work on an important project, but then a colleague asks for urgent help, or you receive a sudden personal request. Instead of feeling frustrated, you can build flexibility into your schedule. For instance, you can allocate a buffer period in your day for unexpected tasks. This way, even if disruptions occur, your essential tasks are still completed on time. Breaking large projects into weekly and monthly goals is also very helpful. For example, if you have a project due in 3 months, it may seem overwhelming to think about completing it all at once. Instead, divide it into smaller milestones. In the first month, you could focus on research and gathering information. In the second month, you can start writing and preparing materials. In the third month, you can revise, proofread, and finalize the project. By spreading the work over time with clear milestones, it becomes manageable, and you can track your progress more effectively. Establishing a morning routine that sets the tone for the day can dramatically improve productivity. For example, you can wake up at a consistent time, do a short workout to energize your body, eat a healthy breakfast, and spend 10 minutes reviewing your tasks for the day. This structured start prepares your mind for focused work. Even small actions, like making your bed or drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, create a sense of accomplishment and motivate you to continue with the day. Another technique to enhance productivity is using the 2-minute rule. This means if a task can be completed in 2 minutes or less, do it immediately instead of postponing it. For example, if you receive a short email that requires a quick reply, answer it right away. This prevents small tasks from piling up and overwhelming you later. By completing quick tasks immediately, you save mental energy and maintain a cleaner task list. Maintaining focus by controlling digital distractions is essential. Many people lose hours each day because of social media, messages, or unnecessary notifications. For example, if you are working on a report, you can turn off all non-essential notifications, close social media tabs, and use apps like Forest or Focus a Will to help you concentrate. By limiting digital distractions, you can accomplish more in a shorter period and feel less stressed at the end of the day. Another effective strategy is reflecting on your productivity habits. For example, you can keep a journal where you write what tasks you completed, what challenges you faced, and which strategies helped you stay focused. You might notice patterns, such as feeling more productive in the mornings or becoming distracted during certain types of tasks. Reflection allows you to adjust your habits, improve your routines, and become more efficient over time. Setting specific boundaries for work and rest is also crucial. Many people try to work longer hours thinking it will make them more productive, but this can lead to burnout. For example, if you work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., make a clear rule to stop working at 5 p.m., have dinner, spend time with family or hobbies, and rest properly. By separating work from personal time, your mind is refreshed and you return to work with higher focus and energy. Using accountability partners can further enhance productivity. For example, if you are trying to improve your English skills, you can partner with a friend or classmate and set shared goals, like listening to an English podcast daily or practicing speaking for 30 minutes each day. You can check in with each other regularly to discuss progress and challenges. Knowing that someone else is aware of your goals increases your commitment to completing tasks. Another helpful approach is rewarding yourself for completing difficult tasks. For example, if you finish writing a long report or complete a challenging study session, you can treat yourself to a short break, enjoy a snack, or listen to your favorite music. Positive reinforcement motivates your brain to associate completion of tasks with enjoyable experiences, encouraging you to maintain productive habits. Eliminating unnecessary tasks is another productivity booster. Sometimes we spend time on activities that do not contribute to our goals. For example, checking social media multiple times a day or attending unnecessary meetings can consume hours without meaningful results. By identifying and removing these tasks, you free up time for activities that truly matter. Focus on high-impact tasks that move you closer to your goals. Building momentum through small wins is a very effective technique. For example, start your day with a simple task that you can finish quickly, like organizing your desk or replying to an email. Completing this task creates a sense of achievement and motivates you to continue with more challenging tasks. Momentum builds confidence and keeps you moving forward throughout the day. Creating a distraction-free workspace also improves productivity. For example, keep your desk tidy, remove items that are not necessary for your current task, and ensure proper lighting. Some people use noise-canceling headphones or soft instrumental music to minimize background distractions. A clean and focused environment allows your brain to concentrate fully and work more efficiently. Another method is batching similar tasks together. For example, instead of checking emails throughout the day, dedicate 2 or 3 specific times for email responses. Similarly, if you need to make phone calls or prepare reports, complete them in one block. Batching reduces the cognitive load of switching between tasks and allows you to maintain focus and efficiency. Planning for energy levels throughout the day is essential for sustained productivity. For example, schedule tasks that require deep thinking, creativity, or problem solving during your peak energy hours, and reserve simpler, routine tasks for periods when your energy is lower. By working with your natural energy cycles, you can accomplish more without feeling exhausted. Using clear, measurable goals is another key habit. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be more productive today," set a goal like, "I will complete 3 sections of my project. Report by 3 p.m." Specific goals make it easier to track progress and create a sense of achievement when they are completed. Incorporating regular breaks into your day is also crucial. For example, you can work for 50 minutes and then take a 10-minute break to stretch, drink water, or take a short walk. Breaks help your brain recover, prevent fatigue, and improve focus when you return to work. Without breaks, productivity can decrease even if you spend more hours working. Another technique is avoiding perfectionism in your work. For example, if you are writing an article or preparing a presentation, aim for clarity and completeness rather than perfect details in the first draft. You can always refine your work later. Finishing tasks efficiently is often more productive than spending excessive time trying to make everything flawless. Using reflection at the end of each day helps maintain long-term productivity. For example, review what you accomplished, what you struggled with, and what strategies helped you focus. Write down key takeaways and plan for the next day based on this reflection. This habit ensures continuous improvement and helps you understand what works best for your productivity. Delegating tasks is another important strategy. For example, if you are working on a team project, you can assign research tasks to a colleague while focusing on writing and organizing the final report. Delegation allows you to concentrate on tasks that require your specific skills and ensures that the overall project is completed more efficiently. Avoiding decision fatigue can also increase productivity. For example, prepare your meals in advance, set a consistent schedule for recurring tasks, and simplify daily routines. This reduces the number of small decisions your brain has to make, leaving more mental energy for important tasks. Combining personal growth with productivity makes your efforts more meaningful. For example, while working on daily tasks, you can allocate time to learn something new, like improving your English, reading professional articles, or practicing a skill. This approach allows you to be productive, while also developing yourself personally and professionally. Maintaining consistency is essential. Small daily actions compound over time. For example, learning 10 new English words every day may seem minor, but after a month, you will know 300 new words, and after a year, you will have a much stronger vocabulary. Consistency, even in small tasks, is more effective than occasional bursts of intense work. Another very effective way to improve productivity is learning how to manage procrastination. Procrastination is something almost everyone experiences, even the most disciplined people. It happens when we delay tasks because they seem boring, difficult, or overwhelming. For example, if you need to write a long report, it is common to keep putting it off and instead spend time checking social media or organizing things that are not urgent. One way to overcome this is to start with the smallest part of the task. You can write just one paragraph or outline the first section of your report. Once you begin, it is easier to continue and complete the task because starting is often the hardest part. Creating a sense of urgency can also help prevent procrastination. For example, if you know that your report is due in a week, set a personal deadline to finish the first draft in 3 days. Treat this personal deadline as seriously as an official one. By creating smaller deadlines, you divide the work into manageable pieces and motivate yourself to take consistent action. Another strategy is visualizing the benefits of completing a task. For example, imagine how satisfied you will feel when your report is finished, or how much easier your week will be when your tasks are completed on time. Visualization helps your brain focus on the positive outcomes of working now rather than the temporary discomfort of starting a task. Using a reward system is also highly effective in combating procrastination. For example, you can promise yourself a small reward after completing a task. If you finish a challenging section of your report, you might take a short walk, have your favorite snack, or spend 10 minutes listening to music. Rewarding yourself reinforces positive habits and makes starting tasks more appealing. Another way to maintain focus and reduce procrastination is dividing your work into focused time blocks. For example, you can work on one task for 45 minutes and then take a 10-minute break. During the work block, focus only on that task without checking your phone or switching to other activities. Knowing that a break is coming helps your mind stay focused and reduces the temptation to procrastinate. Prioritizing tasks is essential for staying productive. Sometimes we waste time on tasks that are easy or enjoyable but not important. For example, you might spend an hour rearranging your desk instead of working on your report. To avoid this, make a list of tasks and decide which ones are most important and urgent. Complete those first. By focusing on high-priority tasks, you ensure that your effort produces meaningful results. Another strategy is preparing your workspace for maximum focus. For example, before you start working, clean your desk, remove items you do not need, and gather all materials required for the task. If you are studying English, keep your notebook, pen, and audio materials ready. A well-prepared workspace reduces distractions and makes it easier to start tasks immediately. Using technology wisely is also important. For example, you can use apps that block distracting websites or notifications while you work. You can also use productivity apps like Todoist or Trello to organize tasks and track progress. Technology can either distract you or support your productivity, depending on how you use it. Using it intentionally ensures that it helps rather than hinders your focus. Staying physically and mentally healthy is crucial for productivity. For example, regular exercise improves blood flow to the brain and increases focus. Eating balanced meals gives you energy to complete tasks efficiently. Sleeping enough ensures your mind can process information and stay alert. Even simple habits like drinking enough water throughout the day or taking a short walk outside help maintain your energy levels and concentration. Another technique to improve productivity is learning to say no. Often, we take on too many commitments, which reduces the time and energy available for important tasks. For example, if a colleague asks you to help with a task that is not urgent, you can say, "I am sorry, I cannot help right now because I need to finish my work." Saying no politely but firmly protects your time and allows you to focus on tasks that matter most. Batching similar tasks together is also very effective. For example, instead of replying to emails continuously throughout the day, set aside a specific time, such as 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., to respond to all emails. Similarly, if you need to make phone calls, do them one after another rather than sporadically. Batching tasks reduces time lost when switching between activities and helps maintain focus. Reflecting on your day is another essential habit. For example, at the end of each day, take 10 minutes to ask yourself what you accomplished, which tasks were difficult, and which strategies helped you focus. Write down your thoughts in a journal or notebook. Reflection helps you learn from each day and improve your productivity strategies over time. Another strategy is breaking tasks into very small steps. For example, if you need to clean your entire house, start with one room or even one corner of a room. If you are writing a report, focus on completing one paragraph first. Small steps make large tasks feel less overwhelming and create a sense of accomplishment with each completed step, which encourages continued effort. Understanding your peak productivity times is also important. For example, some people are most focused in the morning, while others perform best in the afternoon or evening. Pay attention to your natural energy cycles and schedule your most important tasks during these peak periods. This ensures that your brain is working at its best when completing challenging or high-priority activities. Using visual aids and reminders can help maintain focus. For example, sticky notes on your desk with reminders of tasks, a calendar showing deadlines, or a vision board representing your goals can keep you motivated. Visual reminders reinforce your objectives and help you stay on track, especially when you feel distracted or tired. Avoiding perfectionism is a key to sustained productivity. For example, if you spend too much time trying to make your work flawless, you may delay completing tasks. Instead, aim for progress rather than perfection. Finish the work to a good standard first and refine it later if necessary. Completing tasks efficiently allows you to maintain momentum and reduces stress. Another strategy is celebrating small achievements. For example, after finishing a challenging section of your project, take a moment to appreciate your effort. You could enjoy a cup of tea, take a short walk, or listen to a favorite song. Celebrating small wins reinforces positive habits and encourages you to continue working consistently. Planning your week in advance is also very effective. For example, every Sunday, you can review your upcoming week and decide what tasks need to be done each day. Include deadlines, meetings, and personal activities. Planning in advance reduces last-minute stress and ensures that you allocate time effectively for both work and personal life. Using accountability partners can help you maintain consistency. For example, if you want to improve your English or complete a project, partner with someone who has similar goals. Check in with each other regularly, share progress, and discuss challenges. Knowing that someone else is aware of your goals increases motivation and commitment. Limiting unnecessary multitasking is also crucial. For example, avoid checking your phone, browsing social media, and working on a task simultaneously. Instead, focus entirely on one task, complete it, and then move on to the next. Multitasking often reduces efficiency and increases mistakes, while single-task focus improves speed and quality. Another effective habit is preparing the night before. For example, you can review your tasks for the next day, set out any materials you need, and organize your workspace. By starting the day prepared, you reduce decision fatigue and can begin working immediately with focus and energy. Maintaining consistency in daily habits is very important. For example, studying English for 30 minutes every day is more effective than studying 3 hours once a week. Small, consistent actions accumulate over time and lead to significant results in the long term. Consistency builds momentum, strengthens habits, and improves productivity naturally. Another key factor for long-term productivity is maintaining motivation throughout long projects. Sometimes projects last weeks or months, and it is easy to lose energy or focus. One way to stay motivated is to set short-term milestones within the larger goal. For example, if you are writing a 50-page report, set a goal to complete 5 pages each week. Celebrate each milestone when you achieve it, such as by taking a relaxing break, enjoying a treat, or sharing your progress with a friend. Seeing these small successes keeps you motivated and gives you a sense of accomplishment as you move closer to the final goal. Breaking large tasks into manageable sections also helps maintain motivation. For example, if you are learning English and want to improve your speaking skills, you could practice by focusing on one topic each day. On Monday, you talk about your daily routine. On Tuesday, you describe your favorite food. On Wednesday, you discuss hobbies. By working on small sections every day, you make consistent progress without feeling overwhelmed by the larger goal. Another effective strategy is tracking progress visually. For example, you can use a chart, checklist, or app to mark completed tasks. If you finish writing a section of your report, check it off. If you practice listening to an English podcast, mark it on your calendar. Seeing tangible evidence of progress provides motivation and reminds you that your efforts are producing results. Creating a positive work environment is also essential. For example, if your desk is cluttered or your workspace is noisy, your mind will be distracted and tasks will feel more difficult. Organize your desk, keep necessary items within reach, and create a quiet environment when possible. Some people use instrumental music or white noise to improve focus. A comfortable and organized space helps your brain work efficiently and makes tasks feel easier to start and complete. Planning for potential obstacles is another way to maintain productivity. Life is unpredictable, and unexpected challenges can disrupt your schedule. For example, if you plan to complete a project this week, but a meeting is added to your calendar, having a flexible schedule allows you to adjust your plan without stress. You could move a less urgent task to another day, or extend your work hours slightly. Planning for obstacles ensures that disruptions do not derail your progress. Using the Pomodoro technique is a practical way to manage time and focus. This method involves working for a set period, usually 25 or 50 minutes, followed by a short break. For example, you can work on your report for 50 minutes, then take a 10-minute break to stretch, drink water, or walk. This technique keeps your mind fresh, prevents fatigue, and helps maintain high levels of focus throughout the day. Another strategy is combining tasks that support multiple goals. For example, if you want to improve English listening skills while exercising, you can listen to an English podcast while jogging or walking. This allows you to work on two goals at once, making your time more productive. Similarly, you can listen to educational audio during commuting or do simple exercises while reading study materials. Finding ways to combine productive activities helps maximize efficiency. Maintaining balance between work and personal life is crucial for long-term productivity. For example, if you work for long hours without rest, your focus will decrease and mistakes will increase. It is important to schedule time for relaxation, hobbies, social activities, and sleep. For instance, after completing your work for the day, spend an hour reading, exercising, or talking with friends. Balance ensures your mind and body stay healthy, which supports consistent productivity over time. Using positive self-talk is another method to maintain motivation. For example, instead of thinking, "I will never finish this project," you can say, "I can complete this project step by step, and I am making progress every day." Positive statements boost confidence, reduce stress, and encourage consistent effort. Your mindset plays a crucial role in sustaining long-term productivity. Scheduling deep work sessions can improve productivity for complex tasks. Deep work means focusing on one important task without interruption for an extended period. For example, you could dedicate 2 hours in the morning to write a report or practice speaking English without checking your phone or email. These focused sessions allow you to complete high-quality work efficiently compared to splitting attention between multiple activities. Learning to delegate tasks when possible is also essential. Delegation allows you to focus on high-priority tasks that require your specific skills. For example, if you are managing a project, you can assign research or data collection to a colleague while you focus on writing the final report. Delegating appropriately increases productivity for both you and your team while reducing stress. Regular reflection and review help maintain consistent progress. For example, at the end of each week, Take 15 minutes to review completed tasks, identify what worked well, and plan improvements. You could note which strategies helped you stay focused, which tasks took longer than expected, and what can be adjusted for the next week. Reflection provides insights into your habits and allows continuous improvement of your productivity system. Another important habit is developing routines that support productivity. For example, having a morning routine that includes waking up at the same time, exercising, having breakfast, and reviewing daily tasks sets a productive tone for the day. Similarly, an evening routine of reflecting on the day, preparing for tomorrow, and relaxing allows you to maintain consistent energy and focus. Routines reduce decision fatigue and make productivity automatic. Managing stress effectively is essential for maintaining focus. Stress reduces mental clarity and energy, making tasks feel more difficult. For example, if you feel overwhelmed with deadlines, take a short break to breathe deeply, stretch, or go for a walk. Regular stress management practices like meditation, journaling, or physical activity help keep your mind clear and maintain high productivity levels. Another strategy is staying accountable to yourself or others. For example, you can share your goals with a friend, mentor, or family member and report your progress regularly. Knowing someone else is aware of your commitments increases motivation and reduces procrastination. Accountability encourages you to take consistent action and complete tasks on time. Minimizing decision fatigue is also crucial for productivity. Every decision you make consumes mental energy, and too many small decisions can reduce focus for important tasks. For example, you can prepare meals for the week in advance, set a consistent work schedule, and choose your outfit the night before. By simplifying daily decisions, you preserve energy for high-priority tasks. Using rewards and incentives encourages consistent work. For example, after completing a challenging task, you could enjoy a favorite snack, watch a short video, or take a relaxing walk. Rewards reinforce positive habits and make productivity more enjoyable. Over time, this approach strengthens motivation and increases the likelihood of completing difficult tasks consistently. Another important method is learning from productive people. Observe how your colleagues, friends, or mentors organize their day, manage tasks, and maintain focus. For example, you might notice that a colleague always starts the day with the most difficult task or keeps a detailed task list. Adopting similar habits and adapting them to your needs allows you to learn proven productivity strategies without starting from scratch. Focusing on progress, not perfection, is another key habit. For example, if you are writing an essay or preparing a presentation, aim to finish it to a good standard first. You can improve details later. Focusing on progress ensures that tasks are completed on time and prevents delays caused by trying to make everything perfect. Combining productivity with personal development makes your work more meaningful. For example, if you spend 30 minutes each day practicing English or reading about your profession, you improve skills while completing daily tasks. Integrating learning into your routine ensures that your productivity contributes to both immediate goals and long-term growth. Maintaining energy levels throughout the day is also essential. For example, take short breaks, drink water, eat nutritious meals, and stretch regularly. Energy management is as important as time management. A well-rested and energized mind works more efficiently and produces higher quality results. Tracking your achievements visually can maintain motivation. For example, use a checklist, calendar, or app to mark tasks as completed. Seeing your accomplishments reinforces the habit of finishing tasks and encourages you to continue making progress. Visual evidence of success helps maintain focus and positivity. Finally, understanding that productivity is a process is crucial. There will be days when you feel less focused or accomplish less than planned. For example, if you miss completing your tasks one day, reflect on what caused the dip, learn from it, and adjust your plan for the next day. Productivity is about consistency and improvement over time, not perfection every single day. One of the most important steps for improving productivity is creating a realistic daily schedule. Planning your day carefully helps ensure that important tasks are completed while leaving time for rest and personal activities. For example, you can start your day by waking up at 7 a.m., spending 30 minutes on exercise to energize your body, having a healthy breakfast, and then reviewing your tasks for the day. From 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., you can focus on your most important work, like writing a report or completing a challenging assignment. Scheduling high-priority tasks for your peak energy hours ensures that your focus is at its best. After your first work block, it is helpful to take a short break. For example, from 10 a.m. to 10:15 a.m., you can stretch, drink water, or take a short walk. Breaks prevent mental fatigue and improve concentration for the next session. Then, from 10:15 a.m. to 12 p.m., continue with another work session, such as studying English, preparing for a presentation, or organizing your workspace. By structuring your day into focused blocks with planned breaks, you maintain high productivity while avoiding burnout. Another important part of a daily schedule is allocating time for small but essential tasks. For example, answering emails, paying bills, or making phone calls can be done in a dedicated time block, like from 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. This prevents these smaller tasks from interrupting your focus during larger work sessions. Once smaller tasks are completed, you can return to more demanding work without distractions. Including personal development activities in your daily schedule improves both productivity and growth. For example, you can spend 30 minutes practicing English by listening to a podcast, speaking out loud, or reading an article. You could also spend 30 minutes learning a new skill, such as using a new software program or improving your writing. By including learning activities every day, you make consistent progress without sacrificing work responsibilities. Planning meals and nutrition is another aspect of daily productivity. Eating balanced meals helps maintain energy and focus throughout the day. For example, a productive morning could start with a breakfast of eggs, fruit, and whole grain toast. Lunch might include lean protein, vegetables, and rice or pasta. Avoid skipping meals or eating heavy, unhealthy food during work hours, because low energy makes tasks more difficult to complete. Planning meals in advance also reduces the time and energy spent deciding what to eat. Scheduling exercise or physical activity is essential for sustaining productivity. For example, a 30-minute walk after lunch or a short evening workout helps refresh your mind and energize your body. Exercise improves focus, reduces stress, and increases overall efficiency. Integrating physical activity into your daily schedule ensures that your brain and body are working at their best throughout the day. Another key part of a productive day is dedicating time to reflection and planning. For example, at the end of each day, spend 15 minutes reviewing what you accomplished, identifying tasks that were completed successfully, and noting which strategies helped you focus. You can also plan tasks for the next day during this time. Reflection improves your understanding of your habits and allows you to adjust your schedule for greater efficiency. Including social and personal time is important for maintaining balance. For example, spend time with friends or family in the evening, or engage in hobbies you enjoy. Balance between work, learning, and relaxation prevents burnout and ensures that you have the energy to maintain productivity consistently. Even short daily moments for personal enjoyment, like reading a book, listening to music, or cooking a favorite meal, contribute to long-term motivation and focus.
Welcome to today's episode of Everyday English with Natasha. I'm your host, Natasha, and today we are going to talk about something that almost everyone struggles with: laziness. We all have those days when we just don't want to do anything. Maybe you know you should study, clean your room, or go for a walk, but you end up lying on your bed scrolling on your phone. Sounds familiar, right? Well, don't worry, because today we'll learn how to overcome laziness using simple, practical English sentences that you can also use in daily life. Let's start by understanding what laziness really is. Laziness doesn't mean you are a bad or unmotivated person. It often means your body or mind needs a little push to get started. For example, you might say, "I know I should start my homework, but I just don't feel like it right now." Or, "I feel too lazy to go out today." These are very natural sentences people use in daily conversation. Now, let's talk about some ways to overcome laziness. The first tip is to start small. Sometimes we feel lazy because the task looks too big. For example, cleaning your whole room sounds difficult, but starting by saying, "I'll just clean my desk first," makes it easier. When you finish one small thing, you feel good, and that feeling gives you energy to do more. You can say, "I'll start with one small task and see how it goes." Another useful idea is to create a routine. Laziness often comes when our day has no clear plan. You can say, "I try to wake up at the same time every day," or "I make a to-do list in the morning." Having a plan helps your brain stay focused. Even simple routines like, "I make my bed after I wake up," or "I drink water before checking my phone," can make a big difference. Sometimes laziness happens because of our environment. For example, if your study space is messy, it's easy to say, "I'll start later." Try using the sentence, "I keep my study area clean so I can focus better." A clean space gives you a fresh mind. Here's another common problem: procrastination. This is when you delay doing something even though you know you should do it now. You might say, "I'll do it later," or "I'll start tomorrow," but tomorrow never comes. Instead, tell yourself, "I'll just do it for 5 minutes." Often when you begin, you keep going. You can use the sentence, "I'll just get started," or "Once I begin, I'll feel more motivated." Now let's talk about energy. Sometimes we feel lazy because we don't have enough energy. Getting enough sleep, drinking water, and eating healthy food can really help. You can say, "I go to bed early so I can wake up fresh," or "I drink water to stay active during the day." Remember, your body and mind work together. If one feels tired, the other will too. Another way to fight laziness is to remove distractions. Our phones and social media can make us lose focus. You can say, "I put my phone away when I study," or "I turn off notifications when I work." Simple habits like these can help you use your time better. It's also helpful to reward yourself after finishing something. For example, "I watch a short video after I finish studying," or "I take a short walk after cleaning the kitchen." Rewards make your brain feel happy and motivated to continue. Sometimes, laziness is actually stress or lack of motivation in disguise. When we don't enjoy what we do, we avoid it. In that case, try saying, "I'll make this more fun," or "I'll play music while I work." Even small changes can make boring tasks more enjoyable. Let's also look at how we talk about laziness in conversation. People often say things like, "I feel lazy today," or "I can't get myself to do anything." You can respond with positive sentences such as, "Maybe you just need a short break," or "Let's start together." These kinds of phrases show understanding and motivation. You can also practice self-motivation sentences every morning, such as, "I can do it," "I'll finish my tasks step by step," or "Today is a good day to be productive." These short phrases might sound simple, but they really help you build a positive mindset. Laziness can also be connected to goals. If your goal is too big, it can feel impossible. Try saying, "I'll divide my goal into small steps." For example, instead of saying, "I'll learn English fluently this year," say, "I'll practice speaking English for 10 minutes every day." That's a clear, simple goal that's easy to start. Many English learners also say, "I feel lazy to study English." If that's you, try changing your approach. You can say, "I'll watch English videos I enjoy," or "I'll listen to podcasts while walking." Learning doesn't always mean sitting at a desk. You can make it a part of your daily life. Some people find that working with others helps them stay active. You can say, I study with a friend so I stay motivated, or I join a group to stay consistent. When you share your goals, you feel more responsible and less lazy. Also, remember that it's okay to take breaks. Laziness becomes a problem only when it stops you from doing what matters. You can say, I take a short break to recharge, or I rest for a while and then continue. Rest is important, but the key is to start again afterward. Many successful people say the hardest part is just beginning. Once you start, things become easier. So practice saying, I'll just begin, whenever you feel stuck. That one sentence can completely change your day. When you look back after finishing something, you'll feel proud. You can say, I'm glad I didn't give up, or I feel good about what I achieved. This positive feeling will help you stay motivated for the next task. Laziness is not your enemy, it's just a signal that something needs to change. Maybe you need more rest, more excitement, or a better plan. You can always remind yourself with this simple sentence, I'm not lazy, I just need to start small. Sometimes laziness comes from overthinking. When we think too much about what we need to do, it starts to feel heavier and more difficult than it really is. You might think, this will take so much time, or I don't know where to start. And before you know it, you decide not to start at all. The trick is to stop thinking too much and just begin. You can say, I'll take the first step, or I'll do the first thing on my list. When you take that first step, the rest often becomes easier. Another reason we feel lazy is because we expect everything to feel easy or fun. But not every task in life is exciting. Some things just need to be done. For example, you might not enjoy doing laundry or studying grammar, but both are necessary. You can remind yourself, I don't have to enjoy it, I just have to do it. Once you finish, you can relax without guilt. You can say, I finished what I needed to do, and now I can rest. That feeling of satisfaction can help you overcome laziness next time. Many people also feel lazy when they don't have clear priorities. If you have too many things to do, your brain gets confused and wants to avoid everything. Try using the sentence, I'll do the most important thing first. When you focus on one thing, it feels less stressful. You can also use, I'll finish one thing before I start another. That kind of thinking keeps your energy steady. Sometimes, laziness is a way for your body to say, I need a break. In that case, rest is not a bad thing. You can say, I'll take a short nap to feel fresh, or I'll stretch for a few minutes before continuing. The problem is not resting. The problem is not starting again afterward. So make sure your rest has a clear endpoint. You can say, after this short break, I'll continue my work. One simple way to fight laziness is to make your tasks enjoyable. If you need to clean, you can play music while doing it. If you need to read something boring, try turning it into a game or challenge. You can say, I'll finish reading this chapter before my tea gets cold. Or, I'll see how fast I can clean the kitchen. Turning ordinary tasks into small games helps your brain stay active. It's also important to create the right environment. If you try to work in bed, your brain will think it's time to rest. But if you sit at a desk with good light, your brain understands it's time to focus. You can say, I'll sit at my desk to work, or I'll make my space look tidy before I begin. Environment really affects motivation. Let's talk about something many people forget, mindset. When you say to yourself, I'm lazy, your brain believes it. But when you say, I'm learning to be more active, your brain starts to look for ways to make that true. Words are powerful. Try to use positive sentences like, I'm getting better at staying focused, or I'm working on building good habits. Here's another useful idea. Make your tasks visible. Sometimes we forget what we need to do, and that creates a feeling of laziness. You can write your tasks on paper or on your phone. Then you can say, I'll check my list and see what's next. Crossing things off a list feels rewarding and keeps you moving forward. Another good tip is to think about your why. When you feel lazy, ask yourself, why do I want to do this? For example, if you need to exercise, you can say, I want to stay healthy. If you need to study, you can say, I want to improve my English. Remembering your reason gives your actions meaning. You can repeat, I'm doing this for a good reason, to remind yourself of your goal. Sometimes laziness hides behind perfectionism. You might think, I don't want to start until I can do it perfectly, but that kind of thinking stops you from doing anything. Instead, you can say, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just need to start. Once you start, you can always make improvements later. When you notice that you are wasting time, Don't get angry at yourself. Just start again. You can say, I wasted some time, but I can still make today productive. Everyone gets lazy sometimes, and that's okay. The important thing is to get back on track. You can tell yourself, I can start fresh right now. Having people who support you can also help. You can share your goals with a friend or family member. For example, you can say, let's work together for 1 hour, or can you remind me to stay on task? Sometimes, knowing that someone else is counting on you can give you extra motivation. Another way to stop feeling lazy is to change your body posture. When you sit up straight, your brain feels more awake. You can say, I'll sit up and take a deep breath before you begin something important. Small physical actions can change your mental energy. Think about how good it feels when you finish something. Remember that feeling of satisfaction. You can say, I'll feel proud when this is done. Focusing on the reward at the end helps you stay motivated at the beginning. Now let's learn some sentences you can use in daily conversation about laziness. You can say, I felt too lazy to cook today, so I ordered food. That's a common and natural sentence. Another one is, I didn't want to clean my room, but I did it anyway. Or, I'm trying to be more active these days. These sentences show progress and honesty. If someone tells you they feel lazy, you can respond with kind and supportive sentences. You can say, maybe you just need a short break, or you can do it. Start small. These responses sound friendly and encouraging. You can also use expressions like, I'm in a lazy mood today, or I can't get myself to do anything. These are common ways to express that feeling. Then you can reply to yourself by saying, that's okay. I'll start with something easy. This helps you take gentle action instead of feeling guilty. Sometimes, making small changes to your routine can help you overcome laziness. You can say, I'll wake up 30 minutes earlier to start my day right, or I'll exercise for 10 minutes every morning. These habits build energy and confidence. Let's look at how people talk about energy. You might hear someone say, I don't have energy to do anything. You can reply, maybe you just need some rest and water, or let's do something small to get started. You can also say, I'll take a short walk to wake myself up. Movement often helps when your body feels lazy. Motivation is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you do something instead of avoiding it, you are training your brain. You can say, I'm training myself to stay active, or I'm building good habits one day at a time. Another helpful method is setting a timer. You can say, I'll work for 15 minutes and then take a break. When you give yourself a small time limit, it feels easier to start. After 15 minutes, you might realize you can keep going. Many people use the phrase, I'll do it later, but that often leads to never doing it. Try replacing that with, I'll start now even if it's small. That small change in words makes a big difference. When you talk about laziness in English, you can also use idioms. For example, I'm feeling sluggish today, means you feel slow or lazy. Or I'm dragging my feet means you are delaying something. You can say, I was dragging my feet about studying, but now I'm focused. Using idioms makes your English sound more natural. If you want to stay consistent, you can remind yourself each morning. Say, I'll make today productive, or I'll take action today. These small morning affirmations prepare your mind for success. When you complete something, celebrate your effort. You can say, I did it, or I finished what I started. Even if it was a small task, it matters. Small victories create big results over time. Finally, remember that laziness doesn't define who you are. Everyone feels lazy sometimes, but that doesn't mean you are lazy as a person. You can say, I'm just resting for now, but I'll be back on track soon. Or, I can control my actions one step at a time. It's about progress, not perfection. Every time you choose to start, no matter how small the action, you are winning against laziness. You can repeat this simple sentence to yourself. Action creates motivation. When you act, you start to feel motivated. Motivation doesn't come before action. It comes after. You can remind yourself daily, I can do it, I'll start small, and I'll keep going. These short sentences have big power. They remind you that change starts with one decision, one action, and one moment of courage. Let's continue talking about how to overcome laziness in everyday life. One very common situation is feeling lazy in the morning. Many people stay in bed and scroll on their phones for a long time. You can say, I stayed in bed too long this morning, and now I feel tired and lazy. A simple way to fix this is to set a morning routine. For example, you can say, I will wake up at 7 o'clock, drink a glass of water, and stretch for 5 minutes. Small steps like this give your brain and body a signal that the day has started, and it helps fight laziness naturally. Another area where laziness appears is housework. Cleaning, cooking, and washing dishes are necessary, but they can feel tiring. You can use sentences like, I do not feel like washing the dishes today, or I want to relax instead of cleaning my room. One trick is to divide the task into smaller parts. You can say, I will wash only the plates first. Then I will do the cups. Another example is, I will cook one meal at a time instead of trying to make everything at once. By taking small steps, the task becomes easier, and your brain feels satisfied as you finish each part. Laziness often affects studying or learning. Many students say, I will study later, or I am too tired to read my textbook today. Instead, you can use sentences like, I will study for 15 minutes now, and then I can rest. Or I will do one exercise first, and then I will take a short break. This method is called breaking tasks into small parts. When you see progress in small steps, your motivation increases and you feel less lazy. Sometimes, laziness is caused by lack of energy or bad habits. For example, if you eat too much junk food or sleep late, your body feels tired and you are less active. You can say, I feel tired because I slept late last night. Or, I do not have energy because I did not eat well today. One solution is to take care of your body. For instance, you can say, I will eat a healthy breakfast to get energy. Or, I will take a short walk to refresh myself. When your body has energy, laziness decreases naturally. Many people feel lazy when tasks are boring. For example, you may think, I do not want to clean my room because it is boring, or I do not want to do math homework because it is difficult. One solution is to make the task more enjoyable. You can say, I will play music while cleaning my room, or I will take one problem at a time and reward myself after finishing it. Adding small rewards or fun elements helps you stay motivated and less lazy. Another cause of laziness is distractions. Phones, social media, and television can waste a lot of time. You can say, I spent 1 hour on my phone, and now I feel lazy to study, or I watched a movie instead of finishing my work. To fight this, you can say, I will put my phone in another room while I work, or I will turn off notifications to stay focused. Controlling your environment helps reduce laziness and improves productivity. Sometimes laziness comes from stress or feeling overwhelmed. When you have too many tasks, your brain wants to avoid everything. You can say, I feel lazy because I have so many things to do. Or, I do not know where to start, so I am doing nothing. One way to fix this is to make a plan. For example, you can say, I will write down 3 important tasks and start with the easiest one, or I will focus on one task at a time instead of all at once. When tasks feel manageable, your motivation increases and laziness decreases. Many people also feel lazy when they wait for motivation to appear. You may think, I will start studying when I feel motivated, or I will exercise when I feel ready. But motivation often comes after starting, not before. You can say, I will start studying for 5 minutes, and then I will feel motivated to continue. Or I will begin exercising now, and my energy will increase as I move. Taking the first step is the most important action to fight laziness. Using positive self-talk is another powerful method. When you feel lazy, your thoughts might be, I cannot do it, or I am too lazy to finish this task. Instead, try sentences like, I can do this if I start small, or I am capable of finishing one step at a time. Positive sentences train your brain to focus on action instead of excuses. You can say, I will finish one task and then I will rest, or I am getting better at staying active every day. Many people overcome laziness by creating habits. Habits make actions automatic. For example, you can say, I brush my teeth every morning without thinking, or I go for a walk every evening after dinner. If you attach productive tasks to existing habits, it becomes easier to stay active. For example, after I drink my morning coffee, I will write a short paragraph in English, or after I brush my teeth at night, I will review my vocabulary words. Some people also find it helpful to visualize the result. For example, if you are lazy to clean your room, you can say, I will feel proud and relaxed when my room is clean, or I will enjoy my free time more if I finish my tasks first. Visualization creates motivation because your brain starts imagining the positive feelings after completing the task. Another tip is to use timers or challenges. You can say, I will study for 20 minutes, and then I can take a 5-minute break. Or, I will clean for 10 minutes and see how much I can finish. Timers create a sense of urgency, and challenges make the task more fun. You can say, I challenge myself to finish washing the dishes before the music ends. This method makes you active and less likely to feel lazy. Sometimes it is helpful to have someone with you. For example, you can say, I will study with my friend to stay motivated, or we will clean the living room together. Working with someone creates accountability and makes the task more enjoyable. You can also say, I feel motivated when someone else is working with me. Or, we can help each other finish tasks faster. Let's talk about celebrating small victories. Every time you finish something, even a small task, you can say, I am proud that I finished this task, or I feel happy that I started today. Celebrating small victories builds positive feelings and encourages you to continue. You can also say, today I did something productive, and tomorrow I will do more. Another idea is to connect tasks to your goals. For example, if you want to learn English, you can say, I will read 1 page of my English book because it will help me improve, or I will write 5 sentences in English to practice grammar. Connecting tasks to your goals makes them meaningful and reduces laziness. Sometimes, laziness is caused by perfectionism. You might think, I cannot start until I am ready, or I will do it perfectly or not at all. Instead, you can say, I do not need to be perfect. I just need to start, or I will improve as I go. Action is more important than perfection. You can say, I am learning and improving every day, or it is okay to make mistakes while trying. Using simple daily sentences helps you stay motivated. You can say, I will wash 1 plate now. I will write 1 sentence in my diary, or I will clean 1 corner of my room. Small actions build momentum. You can also say, I started with 1 small thing, and now I am ready to do more. When you feel lazy, it is also helpful to remind yourself of past achievements. You can say, I finished my homework yesterday even when I was tired, or I cleaned my room last week even though I did not want to. Remembering past successes gives you confidence and reduces laziness. You can also say, I have done it before and I can do it again. Sometimes we feel lazy because we compare ourselves to others. You might think, my friend is more productive than me, or I cannot do as much as others. Instead, try sentences like, I will focus on my own progress, or I am doing my best, and that is enough. Comparing yourself to others can create pressure, but focusing on small personal victories helps. Another tip is to use positive language about tasks. For example, instead of saying, I have to do this, you can say, I get to do this, or I choose to do this. Changing have to into choose to creates a sense of control and motivation. You can say, I choose to study English for 15 minutes, or I choose to clean my desk now. Some people fight laziness by changing their schedule. For example, you can say, I will exercise in the morning when I have more energy, or I will do my difficult tasks first and leave easy tasks for later. Scheduling, based on energy levels, helps you stay active and reduces the feeling of laziness. Another idea is to reward yourself after completing a task. You can say, I will watch my favorite video after finishing my homework, or I will have a cup of tea after cleaning the kitchen. Rewards create motivation and make your brain associate work with positive feelings. Using affirmations every day can also help. You can say, I am productive, I can overcome laziness, or I take small steps and keep going. Saying these sentences aloud trains your brain to act instead of avoid. You can also repeat, every small action counts, or I'm getting better every day. Let's continue talking about overcoming laziness in daily life. One place laziness often shows up is at work or school. Sometimes you wake up and say, I do not feel like going to work today, or I do not want to do my homework. These are very normal feelings. One way to handle this is to start with an easy task first. You can say, I will answer 1 email first, and then I will continue with the rest, or I will solve the first problem in my homework, and the rest will be easier. Starting with a small step often gives you the energy to continue. Another useful idea is to break your work into chunks. If you have a big project, it can feel impossible and that makes you lazy. You can say, I will write one paragraph today and the rest tomorrow, or I will study for 20 minutes now and take a 5-minute break. Using small time periods makes your work manageable, and your brain does not feel overwhelmed. Sometimes laziness happens because of boredom. You might think, I do not want to read this book because it is boring, or I cannot focus on this report because it is too long. One way to fix this is to make the task more interesting. For example, you can say, I will listen to music while reading my book, or I will try to make this report colorful with charts and diagrams. Adding a small fun element helps your brain stay active. Laziness can also happen when we are tired or sleepy. For example, you might say, I am too tired to study now, or I feel sleepy and I cannot concentrate. One solution is to refresh your energy first. You can say, I will drink a glass of water and take a short walk before studying, or I will do some stretches to wake myself up. Small physical activities often help the brain feel more awake and motivated. Another cause of laziness is distractions. Phones, social media, and television can make it very easy to avoid work. You can say, I spent 2 hours watching videos, and now I feel lazy to start my homework. Or, I keep checking my phone instead of writing my report. To fight this, you can say, I will put my phone in another room while I study, or I will turn off notifications for 1 hour. Reducing distractions helps your mind focus and reduces laziness naturally. Laziness also appears when you don't know where to start. Sometimes a task looks too big and your brain decides to avoid it. You might think, I cannot start cleaning because my room is too messy, or I cannot begin studying because I have too many chapters. In this case, you can say, I will start with one small corner, or I will read only the first page now. Once you start, the rest becomes easier and laziness decreases. It is also important to celebrate small achievements. Even finishing a small task is good. You can say, I finished one paragraph, and now I feel proud. Or, I cleaned one corner of my room, and it looks better already. Feeling proud of small actions motivates your brain to continue and fight laziness. Another method is to use positive self-talk. When you feel lazy, you may think, I cannot do this, or I am too lazy today. Instead, try sentences like, I can start with one small step, or I will feel good after finishing this task. Positive sentences help your brain focus on action instead of excuses. For example, I will just begin and motivation will come after. Or, I can finish this task one step at a time. Sometimes laziness happens because of stress or pressure. You might say, I have too many tasks and I do not know where to begin. Or, I feel tired and cannot focus. One solution is to plan your day carefully. You can say, I will write down 3 important tasks and start with the easiest one. Or, I will work on one thing at a time. Planning helps your brain feel calm and reduces the desire to avoid tasks. Another tip is to visualize the benefits of completing tasks. For example, you can say, I will feel proud and relaxed after cleaning my room, or I will enjoy free time more after finishing my homework. Thinking about the positive result motivates you to start and reduces laziness. Sometimes it helps to use timers or challenges. You can say, I will study for 20 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. Or, I will clean the kitchen in 10 minutes and see how much I can finish. Challenges and timers make tasks more fun and keep you active. You can also say, I challenge myself to finish this task before lunch. Or, I will see how much I can do in 1 hour. Another method is to work with a friend or family member. You can say, I will study with my friend to stay motivated. Or, we will clean the living room together. Working with someone else helps you stay focused and makes tasks more enjoyable. You can also say, we can encourage each other to finish faster, or I feel more motivated when someone is working with me. Rewards are very useful to fight laziness. You can say, I will watch my favorite video after finishing my homework, or I will have a cup of tea after cleaning the kitchen. Rewards create positive feelings in your brain, and your brain starts to associate work with pleasure. You can also say, I finished my task and now I can enjoy my break. Laziness sometimes happens because of perfectionism. You might think, I cannot start until I am ready, or I will do this perfectly or not at all. A better approach is to say, I do not need to be perfect. I just need to start, or I will improve as I go. Action is more important than perfection. You can also say, I am learning and improving every day. Or, it is okay to make mistakes while trying. Creating small daily habits helps overcome laziness. You can say, I will read 1 page of my book every morning. Or, I will exercise for 10 minutes every day. Small habits build consistency, and your brain gets used to action automatically. You can also say, after I brush my teeth, I will write 1 sentence in my diary. Or, after I drink my morning coffee, I will plan my day. Linking tasks to existing habits makes it easier to stay productive. Another tip is to remind yourself of your goals. You can say, I am studying English to communicate better with people, or I exercise to stay healthy and strong. Remembering why you do something gives your brain motivation and reduces laziness. You can also say, I will do this task because it brings me closer to my goal, or every small step counts toward my progress. Sometimes laziness is caused by comparing yourself with others. You might think, my friend is more active than me, or I cannot do as much as others. Instead, try saying, I will focus on my own progress, or I am doing my best, and that is enough. Comparing yourself with others creates stress, but focusing on small personal wins reduces laziness. Using positive language about tasks also helps. For example, instead of saying, I have to study, you can say, I get to study, or I choose to study. Changing have to into choose to gives you a sense of control and motivation. You can say, I choose to clean my desk now, or I choose to write 1 paragraph in my notebook. This small change in language can make a big difference in fighting laziness. Sometimes laziness happens because you are not planning your day properly. You can say, I will do my difficult tasks in the morning when I have more energy, or I will do easy tasks in the evening when I feel tired. Planning, according to energy levels, helps you stay productive and reduces the feeling of laziness. It is also helpful to remind yourself of past successes. You can say, I finished my homework yesterday even though I felt tired, or I cleaned my room last week even though I did not want to. Remembering past achievements gives confidence and reduces the feeling of laziness. You can also say, I have done it before, and I can do it again. Small affirmations every day help your brain focus on action. You can say, I am productive, I can overcome laziness, or I take small steps and keep going. Saying these sentences aloud trains your brain to act instead of avoid. You can also repeat, every small action counts, or I am getting better every day. These sentences create motivation naturally. Now let's talk about overcoming laziness at home in daily life. Many people feel lazy with household tasks, even simple ones like cooking, cleaning, or organizing. You might say, I do not want to cook today because I feel lazy, or I do not feel like washing the dishes now. One way to fight laziness is to start with one small task. For example, you can say, I will wash just the plates first, and then I will continue with the cups. Or I will clean 1 corner of my room, and then I will take a short break. Starting small makes the task easier and motivates you to continue. Cooking is another area where laziness often appears. You can say, I am too lazy to cook dinner tonight, or I do not feel like making food today. A helpful tip is to plan simple meals. You can say, I will cook only vegetables and rice tonight because it is quick, or I will make a simple sandwich and eat it. Simple steps reduce the feeling of laziness and help you stay active at home. Sometimes people feel lazy because they do not like the task. For example, I do not like ironing clothes, so I keep avoiding it. Or, I do not want to vacuum the floor because it is boring. One way to fix this is to add a fun element. You can say, I will play my favorite music while ironing, or I will see how fast I can vacuum the living room. Turning boring tasks into small games makes them easier to complete. Laziness at home can also happen when your space is messy or disorganized. You might say, my room is too messy and I do not know where to start cleaning. Or, I feel lazy because everything is scattered. A good method is to organize one small area at a time. For example, I will clean only my desk today, or I will organize my bookshelf first and then the floor. Gradually, your space becomes tidy and laziness decreases. Another tip is to create a daily routine. Many people feel lazy because their day has no structure. You can say, I do not know what to do today, so I feel lazy, or I keep sitting without doing anything. A simple routine helps you stay active. For example, I will wake up at 7 o'clock, make my bed, and then drink a glass of water. Or, I will clean the kitchen before breakfast. When your day has structure, laziness is easier to overcome. Let's talk about exercising at home. Laziness often prevents people from being active. You might say, I am too lazy to exercise today, or I will start tomorrow instead of today. One solution is to start with a short routine. For example, I will do 5 minutes of stretching now, or I will walk around my house for 10 minutes. Small physical activity increases your energy and reduces laziness. You can also say, I will do a few push-ups before breakfast, or I will practice yoga for 10 minutes after waking up. Sometimes laziness happens because we wait for the perfect moment. You might think, I will clean the house when I feel motivated, or I will study when I have more time. The truth is, the perfect moment rarely comes. Instead, you can say, I will start now, even if I do not feel motivated, or I will take one small step, and then I will continue. Action always creates motivation. Another helpful approach is to remove distractions. You might say, I keep watching videos instead of doing my work, or I am too lazy because my phone is next to me. A solution is, I will put my phone in another room while I clean, or I will turn off notifications while I study. Removing distractions helps your brain focus and reduces laziness naturally. Sometimes, laziness happens because of stress or worry. For example, I feel lazy because I have so many tasks to do, or I am overwhelmed, so I do nothing. One solution is to make a simple plan. You can say, I will write down the 3 most important tasks and start with the easiest one, or I will focus on one task at a time and finish it before moving to the next. Planning makes tasks manageable and reduces stress, which helps you fight laziness. Many people also feel lazy because they lack motivation or confidence. You might think, I cannot do this task because it is too difficult, or I do not feel ready to start. One way to fight this is by using positive sentences. For example, I can start with one small step, or I will feel proud after completing this task. Positive self-talk helps your brain focus on action rather than excuses. Let's talk about studying at home. Laziness often prevents students from completing homework or practicing English. You might say, I will study later because I feel lazy, or I do not want to read my book today. One solution is to set a short study goal. You can say, I will read 1 page of my textbook now, or I will write 3 sentences in English and then take a short break. Small goals make studying easier and reduce laziness. Another tip for studying is to connect it to your goals. For example, I am practicing English to speak confidently with friends, or I am learning vocabulary to understand movies in English. When tasks have a purpose, it is easier to overcome laziness. You can also say, I will complete this exercise because it helps me achieve my goal, or I will study for 10 minutes now to improve my skills. Sometimes laziness comes from thinking too much about the task. You might think, this homework is too difficult, so I will not do it. Or, cleaning the room will take too long, so I will wait. The solution is to focus on starting, not finishing. You can say, I will start with one problem, or I will clean only one shelf today. Once you begin, your energy increases and laziness disappears. Rewards are also very useful to fight laziness. You can say, I will watch 1 episode of my favorite show after finishing my homework, or I will enjoy a cup of coffee after cleaning my room. Rewards create positive feelings, and your brain starts connecting work with pleasure. You can also say, I worked hard today, and now I can relax, or I completed my task, and I feel happy and proud. Another effective strategy is working with someone else. You can say, I will clean the kitchen with my sibling, or I will practice English with my friend. Having a partner helps you stay motivated and reduces the chance of feeling lazy. You can also say, we can encourage each other to finish faster, or I feel more active when someone is working with me. Sometimes laziness is caused by waiting for perfect conditions. You might think, I will start cleaning when I feel like it, or I will study when I have more energy. Instead, say, I will start now and my energy will grow as I continue. or I will do a small part of the task now, and the rest will be easier later. Starting immediately reduces procrastination. Creating daily habits helps reduce laziness. You can say, I will write one sentence in my diary every morning, or I will exercise for 10 minutes after waking up. Habits make actions automatic and your brain does not resist starting. You can also say, after I drink my morning coffee, I will review my vocabulary words, or after brushing my teeth at night, I will read one page of my book. Linking new tasks to existing habits makes them easier to do. Positive self-reminders are very useful. You can say, I am productive today. I can overcome laziness, or I will complete one small task now. Repeating these sentences trains your brain to act instead of avoid. You can also say, every small action counts, or I am improving a little every day. These sentences encourage action and reduce the feeling of laziness naturally. Sometimes, laziness happens because of fatigue or lack of sleep. You might say, I am too tired to clean the house today, or I cannot study because I slept late last night. A simple solution is to refresh your energy. You can say, I will drink water and take a 5-minute walk to wake up, or I will stretch for 10 minutes to feel more active. Small actions like this increase energy and help you overcome laziness. Now let's talk about overcoming laziness in social life and outdoor activities. Many people feel lazy when they have to meet friends or go outside. You might say, I do not want to go out today because I feel lazy, or I do not feel like meeting my friends. One way to fight this laziness is to start with small steps. For example, I will go outside for a 10-minute walk first, or I will call my friend and plan a short meeting. Small actions make social activities easier and reduce the feeling of laziness. Sometimes laziness appears when doing physical activities outdoors. You might think, I am too lazy to exercise or go for a run today, or I will stay home instead of going for a walk. One way to fight this is to make the activity enjoyable. You can say, I will listen to my favorite music while walking in the park, or I will invite a friend to join me for a run. Enjoyable activities feel easier, and you are less likely to be lazy. Another tip is to set clear goals for outdoor activities. You might say, I will exercise to stay healthy, or I will walk for 30 minutes today to feel better. When you connect your action to a purpose, it becomes more meaningful. You can also say, I will meet my friends today because I want to have fun, or I will visit the park to enjoy fresh air and relax. Clear. Goals reduce the feeling of laziness. Laziness sometimes happens when you wait for motivation. You might think, I will go for a walk when I feel like it, or I will meet my friends when I have more energy. Motivation usually comes after action, not before. You can say, I will start walking now, and I will feel motivated as I move, or I will call my friend and make plans, and I will feel excited afterward. Starting immediately is the key to overcoming laziness. Sometimes social laziness comes from feeling tired or stressed. You might say, I am too tired to go out, or I have too much work so I cannot meet my friends. A solution is to refresh your energy first. For example, I will take a 15-minute nap before going out, or I will stretch for a few minutes to feel more awake. Small actions help you feel ready and reduce laziness. Using rewards for social activities can also help. You might say, I will enjoy a cup of coffee with my friend after finishing my work, or I will treat myself to ice cream after walking in the park. Rewards make activities more appealing and reduce resistance. You can also say, I finished my task and now I can enjoy my time outside, or I completed my work, so I will go meet my friends happily. Sometimes laziness comes from negative thoughts. You might think, meeting people is too much effort, or I cannot enjoy walking alone. Using positive self-talk can help. You can say, I will enjoy my walk, even if it is short, or spending time with friends will make me feel happy. Positive sentences train your brain to focus on action and enjoyment. Laziness can also happen when you are too comfortable at home. You might say, I am cozy in my bed so I do not want to go outside, or I am relaxing and I cannot leave the house. One solution is to prepare small steps to get started. You can say, I will put on my shoes and step outside for 5 minutes, or I will open the window and breathe fresh air first. Taking small steps makes outdoor activities easier and reduces laziness. Sometimes, people feel lazy because tasks seem too big. For example, I want to go for a long walk, but it feels too tiring. Or, meeting my friends for several hours seems too much effort. A good strategy is to break tasks into smaller parts. You can say, I will walk to the end of my street first, and then I can go further if I want, or I will meet my friend for just 30 minutes today. Small steps make the task manageable and reduce laziness. Another way to overcome laziness is to plan social activities in advance. You might say, I do not feel like meeting anyone today, or I am not ready for an outing. Planning can help you. For example, I will plan to meet my friend at 3 o'clock, so I have time to prepare. Or, I will pack my bag and get ready 1 hour before leaving. Planning reduces stress and makes it easier to take action. Sometimes laziness happens when you have no company. You might say, I do not want to go alone to the park, or I feel lazy to walk by myself. One solution is to invite someone to join you. You can say, I will ask my neighbor to join me for a short walk, or I will invite my friend to meet me for coffee. Having company makes activities enjoyable and reduces the feeling of laziness. Another tip is to remind yourself of past experiences. You might say, I felt lazy yesterday, but I had a great time walking. Or, I did not want to meet my friends last week, but it was fun afterward. Remembering positive experiences creates motivation and reduces laziness. You can also say, I will go outside because last time it made me feel happy, or I will meet my friends because I enjoy spending time with them. Sometimes laziness comes from overthinking. You might think, I will not go because the weather is too hot, or I cannot go because I am too busy. Instead, you can say, I will step outside and decide what to do later, or I will meet my friend for a short time and then go. Home. Starting small helps you overcome mental blocks and laziness. Laziness can also appear when you focus too much on comfort. You might say, I want to stay in bed all day, or I do not want to leave the sofa. One solution is to change your environment first. You can say, I will sit by the window and breathe fresh air, or I will stand up and stretch before going outside. Small changes in position and environment help you feel active. Sometimes laziness is caused by waiting for permission or encouragement. You might say, I will go outside if someone asks me, or I do not want to start walking alone. One way to fight this is to take initiative yourself. You can say, I will go for a walk now because I choose to, or I will call my friend and suggest a meeting. Taking initiative builds confidence and reduces laziness. Another strategy is to combine social activities with tasks. For example, I will go shopping with my friend and finish my errands at the same time. Or I will meet my friend for a walk and practice speaking English. Together, combining tasks and social activities makes them more enjoyable and reduces resistance caused by laziness. Sometimes, laziness appears when you compare yourself to others. You might think, my friend is more active than me, or I cannot walk as far as others. Instead, you can say, I will do what I can today, or I am improving at my own pace. Focusing on your progress reduces stress and laziness. Using positive reinforcement is very helpful. You might say, I will reward myself with a smoothie after walking for 20 minutes, or I will enjoy a short video after meeting my friends. Rewards create positive associations with action and reduce laziness. Naturally, sometimes laziness happens when you feel overwhelmed by too many options. You might think, I can go for a walk, or I can clean the house, or I can study. I do not know what to do, so I will do nothing. One way to fight this is to choose one simple action first. You can say, I will go outside for a 5-minute walk first, or I will clean just my desk, before deciding the next task. Starting with one action reduces confusion and laziness. Another tip is to set realistic expectations. You might say, I should exercise for 1 hour, but I feel lazy, or I want to clean the whole house, but it seems too much. Instead, you can say, I will walk for 10 minutes today, or I will clean one room now and the rest later. Realistic goals make tasks easier and reduce the feeling of laziness. Sometimes, laziness appears because you feel tired from previous activities. You might say, I am exhausted, so I cannot go out, or I feel too sleepy to meet anyone. One solution is to take a short break. You can say, I will rest for 10 minutes and then go outside, or I will drink some water and stretch before meeting my friend. Short breaks help recharge your energy and reduce laziness. Another helpful method is planning small steps in advance. You can say, I will put on my shoes and step outside for 2 minutes, or I will call my friend to confirm the meeting time. Planning small steps reduces hesitation and makes it easier to overcome laziness. Let's continue with overcoming laziness in work, school, and hobbies. Many people feel lazy when they have tasks at work. You might say, I do not feel like starting my report today, or I will answer emails later because I am too lazy. One effective method is to start with a small task first. For example, I will write the first paragraph of my report now, or I will answer one email first, and the rest can wait. Small steps make big tasks easier and reduce the feeling of laziness. Another tip for work is to use a timer. You might say, I do not want to work because the task seems long, or I feel lazy because I do not know where to start. You can solve this by saying, I will work for 20 minutes and then take a 5-minute break, or I will complete one small part of the project before continuing. Using a timer creates a sense of urgency, and your brain stays focused. Sometimes laziness happens because tasks seem boring or repetitive. You might think, I do not want to fill out this spreadsheet because it is boring, or I do not feel like reviewing my notes again. One solution is to make tasks more interesting. You can say, I will listen to music while entering data, or I will reward myself with a short break after finishing this page of notes. Making tasks enjoyable reduces laziness naturally. At school, many students feel lazy about homework or studying. You might say, I will do my math homework later because I am too tired, or I cannot study for the test today. A useful approach is to break tasks into small goals. For example, I will solve just the first problem now, or I will read one paragraph of my textbook and then take a short break. Small goals feel manageable and reduce procrastination. Another method for students is to connect tasks to personal goals. You might say, I am studying English to communicate with my friends, or I am practicing math to do well on the test. When tasks have meaning, they feel more important. You can also say, I will write 5 sentences in English because it will help me speak better, or I will solve 3 math problems today to understand the topic. Connecting action to goals reduces laziness. Sometimes, laziness at school happens because students wait for motivation. You might think, I will study when I feel like it, or I will start homework when I am in the mood. Motivation usually comes after action, not before. You can say, I will open my notebook and write the first sentence now, or I will start solving the first problem, and then I will feel motivated to continue. Taking the first step is very important. Hobbies are another area where laziness appears. For example, you might say, I want to learn guitar, but I am too lazy to practice, or I have painting materials, but I feel lazy to use them. One way to fight laziness is to set a small daily goal. For example, I will play one simple chord on my guitar today, or I will paint a small sketch instead of a big picture. Small progress keeps you motivated and reduces laziness. Another tip for hobbies is to combine fun with learning. You might say, I am too lazy to practice piano, or I do not want to read because it feels difficult. You can make it enjoyable by saying, I will play my favorite song on the piano today, or I will read a short story that I like in English. Enjoyable activities make it easier to start and keep practicing. Sometimes people feel lazy because they compare themselves to others. You might think, my friend plays guitar better than me, so I will not practice. Or other students finish their homework faster, so I will wait. Instead, you can say, I will focus on my own progress, or I am learning at my own pace, and that is fine. Focusing on yourself reduces pressure and laziness. Laziness also appears when tasks seem overwhelming. You might say, I cannot finish this painting because it is too big, or I cannot complete the project because there are too many steps. One solution is to divide tasks into smaller parts. You can say, I will paint one small area first, or I will finish one part of the project today. Breaking tasks into small pieces makes them manageable. Using positive self-talk helps overcome laziness. You might think, I cannot do this because it is too difficult, or I am too lazy to start. You can change it to, I will start with one small step, or I can do this if I begin now. Positive sentences encourage action and reduce avoidance. For example, I will write one paragraph today, and the rest will be easier. or I will paint a small section first, and I will feel motivated to continue. Rewards are also very helpful for work, school, and hobbies. You might say, I will watch a video after finishing my homework, or I will enjoy a snack after completing my painting. Rewards create positive feelings, and your brain starts associating effort with pleasure. You can also say, I worked hard today, and now I can enjoy my free time, or I completed my task and I feel proud and happy. Sometimes laziness happens because you feel tired or unprepared. You might say, I cannot start because I am too tired, or I do not have the materials ready, so I will wait. One solution is to prepare yourself first. For example, I will take a short walk to wake up, or I will gather all my materials before starting my art project. Preparing reduces excuses and laziness. Another helpful method is to plan your day carefully. You might say, I have so many things to do, so I feel lazy, or I do not know which task to start first. Planning can solve this. You can say, I will write down the 3 most important tasks and start with the easiest one, or I will do homework first and practice hobbies afterward. Planning makes tasks feel manageable. Sometimes laziness happens when you wait for inspiration. You might think, I will start painting when I feel creative, or I will study when I feel focused. The truth is, action creates inspiration. You can say, I will start painting a small part now, and creativity will come later. Or I will open my book and read 1 page, and focus will increase as I continue. Taking the first step is always key. Using daily habits reduces laziness over time. You might say, I will practice English for 10 minutes every morning, or I will draw for 15 minutes every evening. Habits make action automatic and your brain resists less. You can also say, after breakfast, I will study vocabulary, or after finishing my homework, I will play the guitar for 10 minutes. Linking tasks to daily routines makes them easier to do. Positive reminders also help. You can say, I am productive today, I can complete this task, or I will take 1 small step now. Repeating these sentences trains your brain to act instead of avoid. You can also say, every small action counts, or I am improving every day. Positive reminders encourage action and reduce laziness naturally. Sometimes laziness is caused by distractions. You might say, I keep checking my phone instead of studying, or I watch videos instead of painting. One solution is to remove distractions. You can say, I will put my phone in another room while studying, or I will work in a quiet place without distractions. Controlling your environment helps you focus and reduces laziness. Another method is working with someone else. You might say, I will practice English with a friend, or I will paint with my sibling. Having someone else involved increases motivation and makes tasks enjoyable. You can also say, we will encourage each other to complete tasks, or it is fun to work together, and I feel active when I have company. Let's continue exploring overcoming laziness and handling responsibilities and multitasking. Laziness often appears when people feel overwhelmed with many tasks. You might say, I do not want to do anything today because I have too many things to finish, or I feel lazy because I do not know where to start. One way to overcome this is to make a clear list of tasks. For example, I will write down 3 important things I need to do today, or I will start with the easiest task first, and then continue with the others. Writing down tasks makes them feel manageable and reduces the desire to avoid them. Sometimes people feel lazy because tasks seem boring or repetitive. You might say, I do not want to pay bills because it is boring, or I do not feel like organizing my desk because it takes too long. A helpful solution is to make the task more interesting. You can say, I will listen to music while organizing my desk, or I will set a timer and see how fast I can finish paying the bills. Turning tasks into small challenges makes them fun and easier to start. Another reason for laziness is lack of energy or poor health. You might say, I am too tired to cook dinner, or I cannot clean because I feel weak today. One solution is to take a short break to refresh your body. You can say, I will drink a glass of water and stretch for 5 minutes, or I will take a short walk around the room before starting to cook. Small actions can increase energy and reduce laziness. Naturally, laziness often happens when tasks seem difficult or confusing. You might think, I do not understand this homework, so I will not do it. Or, I cannot fix this problem at work, so I will wait. One way to solve this is to break the task into smaller steps. For example, I will read one paragraph and try to understand it first, or I will ask one question about the problem and then try to solve it. Small steps reduce fear and make starting easier. Sometimes laziness appears when we wait for the perfect moment. You might think, I will clean the house when I feel more motivated, or I will study when I have more time. Motivation usually comes after action. You can say, I will start with one small part now, and then motivation will grow. Or, I will begin my homework for 5 minutes and continue afterward. Taking action immediately is the key to overcoming laziness. Another strategy is to use rewards. You might say, I will watch a favorite show after finishing my chores, or I will eat a snack after completing my homework. Rewards create positive feelings in your brain and make tasks more appealing. You can also say, I finished cleaning my room, and now I can enjoy my free time. Or, I completed my assignment, and I feel proud and relaxed. Rewards help your brain associate action with pleasure. Sometimes people feel lazy because they focus too much on the final result. You might say, I cannot clean the whole house because it is too big, or I will not finish this project because it seems impossible. One solution is to focus on one small action at a time. For example, I will clean only my desk today, or I will complete the first part of my project now. Focusing on small steps reduces pressure and makes it easier to start. Laziness often appears when we are distracted. You might say, I keep checking my phone instead of studying, or I am watching videos instead of cleaning the kitchen. One solution is to control your environment. You can say, I will put my phone in another room while doing my homework, or I will work in a quiet space without distractions. Controlling. Distractions helps your brain focus and reduces laziness naturally. Sometimes, people feel lazy because they lack accountability. You might say, I do not feel like finishing this task alone, or I will start later because no one is checking me. One way to solve this is to share your goals with someone. You can say, I will tell my friend I will study for 1 hour, and we can check each other. Or, I will ask my sibling to help me clean the kitchen. Working with others increases motivation and reduces the chance of being lazy. Laziness can also happen when you are afraid of making mistakes. You might think, I cannot write this report because I might do it wrong, or I cannot cook this recipe because I might fail. One way to fight this is to accept mistakes as part of learning. You can say, it is okay if I make a small mistake. I will correct it later, or I will try cooking and learn from the process. Accepting imperfection reduces stress and encourages action. Another helpful method is to create a routine for responsibilities. You might say, I do not know when to do my chores, so I feel lazy, or I cannot plan my day, so I avoid tasks. A simple routine helps. You can say, I will clean my room every morning before breakfast, or I will check my emails for 15 minutes at 9 o'clock. A routine trains your brain to act automatically, which reduces laziness. Sometimes laziness happens because we underestimate how long a task will take. You might think, cleaning the kitchen will take too long, so I will not start, or studying for the test will take hours, so I will wait. One solution is to estimate time in small portions. You can say, I will clean the kitchen for 10 minutes and then see how much I can finish, or I will study one chapter for 20 minutes and then take a short break. Small time frames make tasks manageable. Another tip is to focus on the benefits of completing tasks. You might say, I feel lazy because I do not want to study, or I feel lazy to exercise today. Instead, you can say, I will feel proud after finishing my homework, or I will feel healthier after exercising for 30 minutes. Thinking about positive results motivates your brain to act. Sometimes, people feel lazy because they lack clear priorities. You might say, I have so many tasks and I do not know which one to do first. Or, I will wait because everything seems important. One solution is to choose one priority task. You can say, I will finish my homework first because it is due tomorrow, or I will clean the living room first and then do the dishes. Prioritizing tasks reduces stress and laziness. Another effective strategy is to visualize completing the task. You might think, I cannot start because the task is too big, or I do not feel motivated to begin. You can say, I will imagine how good it will feel after finishing this task. Or, I will picture my clean and organized room, and it will motivate me to start. Visualization creates mental motivation to take action. Sometimes laziness happens because we are too comfortable doing nothing. You might say, I am cozy on the sofa, so I will stay here, or I feel lazy because I am relaxed at home. One solution is to change your environment or posture. You can say, I will stand up and stretch before starting my tasks, or I will move to my desk and prepare materials before working. Small physical changes can trigger activity and reduce laziness. Laziness can also appear when we feel overwhelmed by emotions. You might think, I feel stressed, so I cannot start anything, or I feel anxious, so I avoid work. One helpful solution is to practice deep breathing or mindfulness first. You can say, I will take 3 deep breaths before starting my homework, or I will focus on the present moment for 2 minutes before cleaning the room. Calming your mind makes tasks easier and reduces laziness. Another tip is to track your progress. You might say, I do not feel motivated because I cannot see improvement, or I am lazy because I feel stuck. You can solve this by saying, I will mark each completed task on my checklist, or I will write down what I accomplished today. Seeing progress motivates your brain and helps fight laziness naturally. Using affirmations and positive self-talk is very effective. You can say, I am productive today. I take 1 step at a time, or I can finish this task. Repeating these sentences trains your brain to act instead of avoid. You can also say, every small step counts toward my goal, or I am improving a little every day. Affirmations create motivation and reduce laziness naturally. Now let's continue with overcoming laziness in family responsibilities and household duties. Many people feel lazy when it comes to taking care of family members or managing the home. You might say, I do not feel like helping my parents today, or I am too lazy to take care of my younger sibling. One way to overcome this is to start with one small responsibility. For example, I will wash the dishes first, and then I will help my sibling with homework. Or I will clean one corner of the living room and then take a short break. Starting small makes tasks easier and reduces feelings of laziness. Sometimes laziness appears when household chores seem boring or repetitive. You might say, I do not want to sweep the floor because it is tiring, or I am too lazy to fold the laundry today. One solution is to make chores more enjoyable. For example, I will listen to my favorite music while folding clothes, or I will turn sweeping the floor into a small challenge and try to finish it faster than yesterday. Fun and small challenges help you stay active and motivated. Another reason for laziness at home is lack of clear organization. You might think, I do not know where to start cleaning, so I will do nothing. Or, my room is too messy, so I cannot begin. One solution is to create a plan for small steps. You can say, I will organize my desk first, and then I will sort the books, or I will pick up the clothes on the floor before making the bed. Breaking the space into smaller areas makes tasks manageable. Laziness often happens when you feel tired or overwhelmed by multiple responsibilities. You might say, I am too tired to cook dinner and clean at the same time, or I have too many tasks today, so I feel lazy. One solution is to prioritize tasks and take breaks. For example, I will cook first and then I will clean for 10 minutes before resting, or I will help my sibling with homework first, then organize the living room. Small steps and breaks reduce stress and help overcome laziness. Sometimes people feel lazy because they wait for someone else to ask for help. You might say, I will do chores if my parents tell me to, or I will help my sibling only if they ask. One way to fight this is to take initiative yourself. For example, I will set the table for dinner without being asked, or I will help my sibling with homework even if they do not ask me. Taking initiative shows responsibility and reduces procrastination. Another useful method is to combine tasks with other activities. You might say, I do not feel like cleaning the kitchen, or I am too lazy to cook. You can combine tasks by saying, I will listen to an interesting podcast while cooking dinner, or I will talk to my sibling while cleaning the living room. Combining tasks with enjoyable activities makes chores more pleasant and reduces laziness. Sometimes laziness occurs when you focus on the negative aspects of chores. You might think, cleaning is boring, so I will not do it. Or, I do not like doing dishes, so I will wait. One way to overcome this is to focus on the benefits. For example, I will feel proud after cleaning my room, or I will enjoy a neat kitchen after washing the dishes. Thinking about positive outcomes increases motivation. Laziness also appears when we underestimate the time needed for a task. You might say, I cannot organize the closet because it will take too long, or I do not want to vacuum the house because it feels endless. One solution is to start with a short time period. You can say, I will clean the closet for 10 minutes and see how much I can finish. Or I will vacuum one room first, and then I can continue later. Short time frames make tasks easier and reduce resistance. Another tip is to set specific goals for daily responsibilities. You might say, I do not know what to do first, so I feel lazy, or I will wait because everything seems important. You can create goals by saying, I will clean my desk and organize my books today. Or, I will wash the dishes and take out the trash before dinner. Clear goals reduce confusion and laziness. Sometimes people feel lazy because they wait for motivation to appear. You might think, I will help with chores when I feel like it, or I will cook when I am more energetic. Motivation usually comes after starting the task. You can say, I will start washing the dishes now, and motivation will grow as I continue. Or I will organize one drawer first, and then I will feel ready to do more. Action creates motivation. Using rewards for completing household responsibilities is very effective. You might say, I will watch a video after cleaning my room, or I will enjoy a snack after helping with cooking. Rewards create positive feelings and make tasks more appealing. You can also say, I completed the dishes, and now I can relax. Or, I finished organizing the living room, and I feel proud. Rewards teach your brain to associate effort with pleasure. Sometimes laziness happens because tasks feel too difficult. You might think, I cannot clean the entire house in one day, or I cannot cook a large meal by myself. One way to fight this is to divide tasks into smaller pieces. For example, I will clean only the kitchen today, or I will cook a simple meal first and prepare the rest later. Small steps make tasks manageable and reduce stress. Another reason for laziness is distractions at home. You might say, I am watching TV instead of helping with chores, or I am using my phone instead of studying. One solution is to control your environment. You can say, I will turn off the TV while doing chores, or I will put my phone away until I finish cleaning. Controlling distractions helps you stay focused and reduces laziness naturally. Sometimes laziness occurs because you are afraid of making mistakes. You might think, I will not cook because I might burn something, or I cannot clean properly, so I will wait. One way to solve this is to accept that mistakes are part of learning. You can say, it is okay if I make a small mistake while cooking. I can fix it later, or I will clean and learn how to do it better next time. Accepting imperfection reduces fear and encourages action. Another helpful method is to track your progress in household responsibilities. You might say, I do not feel motivated because I cannot see my achievements. Or, I am too lazy because I feel nothing is changing. You can say, I will write down each chore I complete today, or I will mark tasks on a checklist to see what I have accomplished. Seeing progress motivates your brain and reduces laziness. Sometimes laziness happens because tasks are not linked to personal goals. You might say, I do not want to cook because it does not seem important, or I am too lazy to clean the floor. You can connect tasks to goals by saying, I am cleaning to live in a comfortable and tidy home, or I am helping with cooking to take care of my family. Linking actions to goals increases motivation. Another tip is to create habits for household responsibilities. You might say, I forget to clean regularly, so I feel lazy when I see a mess, or I do not have a routine for chores. You can say, I will clean the kitchen every morning after breakfast, or I will do laundry every Saturday morning. Habits make action automatic and reduce the feeling of laziness over time. Sometimes laziness occurs because you wait for someone else to start first. You might say, I will not clean until my parents begin, or I will wait until my sibling helps. One solution is to take the first step yourself. You can say, I will start washing the dishes now, and my sibling can help afterward. Or, I will clean the living room first, and others can join me later. Taking initiative reduces procrastination and laziness. Another helpful method is positive self-talk while doing chores. You might say, I do not feel like cleaning, or I am too lazy to finish this task. Instead, you can say, I am productive today, and I can complete this task, or every small action I take makes my home better. Positive sentences. Train your brain to focus on action rather than avoidance. Let's continue with overcoming laziness when combining multiple tasks during a day and managing time effectively. Many people feel lazy when they have too many things to do in one day. You might say, I have so many tasks that I feel lazy and do not want to start anything. Or, I cannot begin because everything seems too much. One solution is to create a simple schedule for the day. For example, I will study English for 30 minutes, then take a 10-minute break, and after that, I will cook lunch, or I will clean one room first, then do laundry, and finally organize my desk. A clear schedule reduces stress and helps you take action step by step. Sometimes people feel lazy because tasks seem overwhelming when done together. You might say, I cannot manage cooking, cleaning, and studying at the same time, or I feel lazy because I have too many things to finish. A good strategy is to prioritize tasks based on importance and time. You can say, I will finish my homework first because it is due tomorrow, or I will cook lunch now, then clean the kitchen after eating. Prioritizing tasks makes them more manageable and reduces laziness naturally. Another reason for laziness during the day is lack of energy at certain times. You might say, I feel too tired to start studying in the morning, or I am too sleepy to clean after lunch. One solution is to schedule important tasks when you feel most energetic. For example, I will study in the morning when I am alert, or I will clean the living room after a short rest in the afternoon. Planning tasks according to energy levels makes it easier to stay productive. Sometimes, laziness happens because we focus on tasks as one big action. You might think, I need to finish all my homework in one sitting, so I will not start. Or, I have to clean the entire house at once, so I feel lazy. One solution is to break tasks into smaller segments. You can say, I will do one math problem first, then continue with the next, or I will clean one corner of the room first, and then move to the next section. Small steps reduce pressure and make starting easier. Another tip is to combine tasks with enjoyable activities. You might say, I do not want to clean because it is boring, or I feel lazy to study because it is difficult. One solution is to say, I will listen to music while cleaning the room, or I will practice English by reading a story that I enjoy. Combining tasks with enjoyable actions makes them more appealing and reduces the feeling of laziness. Sometimes people feel lazy because they do not track their time properly. You might say, I do not know how long it will take to finish my homework, or I am unsure how much time to spend on cleaning, so I wait. One solution is to use a timer or set specific time limits. You can say, I will study English for 20 minutes and then take a 5-minute break, or I will clean the kitchen for 15 minutes and then rest for 5 minutes. Time limits create a sense of urgency and help reduce laziness. Laziness can also happen when we compare our pace with others. You might think, my friend finishes homework faster than me, so I feel lazy to start. Or, others clean their house more efficiently, so I cannot begin. One solution is to focus on your own pace and progress. You can say, I will finish what I can today, and tomorrow I will do more. Or, I am improving my skills at my own speed, and that is enough. Focusing on yourself reduces pressure and procrastination. Sometimes people feel lazy because they do not see immediate results. You might say, I do not want to clean because it will take too long to see the room neat. Or, I feel lazy to study because I cannot learn everything at once. One solution is to celebrate small accomplishments. You can say, I organized my desk and it looks better now. Or, I studied one chapter, and I feel more confident. Recognizing small progress motivates you to continue. Another helpful strategy is to prepare materials in advance. You might say, I cannot start my homework because my notebook is not ready. Or, I feel lazy to cook because ingredients are not organized. You can say, I will gather all my books and pens first, and then start studying. Or I will put all ingredients on the table before cooking. Preparing reduces excuses and helps action happen naturally. Sometimes, laziness appears when tasks feel repetitive every day. You might think, I always clean the same rooms, so I do not want to start, or I study the same topic every day, and I feel lazy. One solution is to change your approach or routine. You can say, I will clean the living room first today and the kitchen tomorrow. Or, I will study vocabulary with a new game instead of just reading. Small changes make tasks more interesting and reduce laziness. Sometimes people feel lazy because they have unclear goals for the day. You might think, I do not know what is important, so I will do nothing. Or, I cannot decide where to start, so I feel lazy. One solution is to choose 3 main tasks for the day. You can say, I will finish my homework first, clean my room second, and practice piano third. Or, I will cook lunch, wash the dishes, and then read a book. Clear priorities guide action and reduce laziness. Another tip is to visualize the benefits of completing tasks. You might say, I do not feel like studying because it is hard. Or, I feel lazy to clean because it is tiring. You can say, I will feel proud and relaxed after finishing my homework. Or, I will enjoy a clean and comfortable room after organizing it. Visualization creates motivation and encourages action. Sometimes, laziness appears when we wait for inspiration to start tasks. You might think, I will cook when I feel creative, or I will study when I feel focused. One solution is to start small and inspiration will follow. You can say, I will start cooking one simple dish first, and I will feel ready to cook more, or I will read 1 page of my textbook, and then focus will increase. Action generates motivation. Using daily routines and habits is very helpful to fight laziness. You might say, I always forget to clean or study, or I do not have a plan for daily tasks. You can say, I will study English every morning after breakfast, or I will clean my room every evening before dinner. Habits make action automatic and reduce mental resistance to tasks. Another method is tracking accomplishments at the end of the day. You might say, I feel lazy because I do not see what I completed, or I do not feel motivated because I cannot measure my progress. You can say, I will write down all tasks I completed today, or I will mark my checklist and see how much I accomplished. Tracking success motivates you to continue and reduces laziness naturally. Let's continue with maintaining motivation for long-term personal projects and balancing multiple responsibilities in a day. Many people feel lazy when a project lasts for several days or weeks. You might say, I feel lazy to continue my art project because it takes too long, or I am too tired to study English every day. One effective method is to set small daily goals. For example, I will paint for 15 minutes today and continue tomorrow, or I will learn 5 new English words today and practice sentences with them. Small goals make long-term projects manageable and reduce feelings of laziness. Sometimes, laziness happens because tasks seem too far from completion. You might think, I cannot finish this book because it has too many chapters, or I will not work on my science project because it will take too long. One solution is to focus on the next step, not the entire project. You can say, I will read 1 chapter today, or I will complete the introduction of my science project first. Focusing on 1 step at a time reduces stress and motivates action. Another reason for laziness in long-term projects is lack of visible progress. You might say, I do not feel motivated because I cannot see improvements, or I feel lazy because my project does not look finished yet. One way to solve this is to track progress daily. You can say, I completed 1 painting today, and I will add more tomorrow. Or, I learned 5 new words today, and I will use them in sentences. Seeing progress encourages you to continue and reduces laziness. Sometimes people feel lazy because they compare themselves to others who are further ahead. You might think, my friend finished the book faster than me, so I do not want to continue, or other students completed their projects, so I feel lazy. One solution is to focus on your own pace and effort. You can say, I will do my best today and that is enough, or I will continue my project at my own speed, and I will improve over time. Focusing on yourself reduces pressure and procrastination. Another tip for long-term projects is to use rewards to stay motivated. You might say, I do not feel like painting today because it is tiring, or I am too lazy to practice English because I feel bored. You can solve this by saying, I will take a short walk after finishing a small part of my painting. Or I will have a cup of tea after practicing 5 new words. Rewards create positive feelings and make tasks more appealing. Sometimes laziness happens because tasks are not linked to personal goals. You might say, I do not feel motivated to study because I do not see the point. Or, I am too lazy to continue drawing because I am unsure why I am doing it. One solution is to connect tasks to meaningful goals. You can say, I am learning English to speak with friends and travel to new places, or I am drawing to improve my skills and enjoy my creativity. Linking action to goals increases motivation naturally. Laziness can also appear when people feel tired after completing other responsibilities. You might say, I cleaned the house and now I am too lazy to study, or I cooked lunch and now I do not feel like practicing guitar. One solution is to take short, refreshing breaks between tasks. You can say, I will rest for 5 minutes and then practice English, or I will drink water and stretch before continuing my music lesson. Small breaks help maintain energy and reduce laziness. Sometimes people feel lazy because they overthink tasks and wait for the perfect plan. You might think, I will start studying when I have the perfect study plan, or I cannot begin my painting because I am not sure about the colors. One solution is to start with any simple step. You can say, I will read 1 page now, and then I can plan the next steps. Or, I will start with a small sketch and add colors later. Action first creates momentum and reduces laziness. Another method is to divide the day into focused time blocks. You might say, I do not feel like studying because I have too many distractions, or I am too lazy to cook because I feel busy with other things. You can solve this by saying, I will study English for 30 minutes, then take a 10-minute break, and after that, I will cook lunch. Or I will practice guitar for 20 minutes, and then I will clean my desk. Dividing time into blocks makes tasks feel achievable. Sometimes laziness happens because people try to do too many things at once. You might say, I am too tired because I tried to clean, cook, and study all at the same time. Or I feel lazy because I cannot focus on one task. One solution is to focus on one task at a time. You can say, I will finish my homework first, then cook lunch, and after that, clean the kitchen. Or I will practice piano for 20 minutes, and then work on my art project. Focusing on one task at a time reduces stress and increases productivity. Another helpful method is to use positive self-talk to stay motivated. You might think, I cannot finish this project because it is too difficult, or I am too lazy to start studying today. You can say, I can complete this project if I take small steps, or I will study for 30 minutes now, and I will feel better afterward. Positive self-talk encourages action and reduces procrastination. Sometimes people feel lazy because they feel bored or unchallenged. You might say, I am too lazy to practice English because it is repetitive, or I do not feel like painting because it is simple. One solution is to add variety or small challenges to tasks. You can say, I will learn 5 new words, and use them in sentences, or I will paint a new design that is slightly different from my usual style. Small challenges make tasks interesting and reduce laziness. Another reason for laziness is fatigue from digital distractions. You might say, I am scrolling social media instead of studying, or I am watching videos instead of completing my art project. One solution is to limit digital distractions during work time. You can say, I will put my phone on silent while practicing English, or I will turn off notifications while painting. Reducing distractions increases focus and reduces laziness naturally. Sometimes, laziness happens because people do not prepare in advance for their tasks. You might say, I cannot start cooking because I do not have ingredients ready, or I do not feel like practicing guitar because my sheet music is not prepared. One solution is to prepare everything in advance. You can say, I will gather all ingredients on the table before cooking, or I will put my sheet music on the faux stand and tune the guitar before starting. Preparation reduces excuses and makes starting easier. Another method is to track accomplishments daily for long-term motivation. You might say, I feel lazy because I cannot see my progress, or I am not motivated because results take time. You can say, I completed 3 pages of homework today, and I will do more tomorrow. Or I painted a small section of my artwork, and I will continue in the evening. Tracking progress encourages consistency and reduces laziness naturally. Sometimes people feel lazy because they do not set clear daily priorities. You might say, I have many tasks and I do not know which to start first. Or, I feel lazy because everything seems equally important. One solution is to choose the top 3 tasks to complete each day. You can say, I will finish my homework first, practice piano second, and paint third, or I will clean my room first, cook lunch second, and read a book third. Clear priorities help you act and reduce procrastination.